You're listening to Goof On Radio with Rich Giordano.
What's that? Okay.
My personal belief is that there is very compelling evidence that we may not be alone.
There has been and is an existing presence, an ET presence. It's not going to make a difference. It's not going to change reality.
I believe, as do the other folks that were on the flight, that when we visually saw it, that it was something not from this world.
UFOs. Discuss.
Goof On Radio.
Or you were either out, brother.
But the cream will rise to the top, oh yeah.
Goof On Radio with Rich Giordano.
I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world.
Goof On Radio.
Remain seated, please. Permanecer sentados, por favor.
You're listening to Goof On Radio with Rich Giordano.
All right. Happy New Year 2019, my Goofonians. Welcome to Goof On Radio Stream. I'm your host, Rich Giordano. We are live after a 9-hour marathon. Holy smokes, that was awful and fun at the same time. Man, you guys are crazy. I'm calling you the Goof On Warriors from now on. That was absolutely nuts. I got to thank everybody who came, stayed, played, watched, listened, learned, and everything else, and contributed. We're not just lazy fans. We contribute. We're not just trophy wives. What TV show? That's right. Seinfeld? I'm not just a trophy wife? Well, this is a trophy show tonight. It's going to be a good one. First guest, special guest of 2019, Tessa, Nicole, Thomas-Peterson will be joining me here in a few minutes. The lady with 4 names, the psychic, the 4-name warrior, the Hulkster. Man, this is going to be great tonight. So Tessa's going to be on for 2.5 hours if she wants. And then after Tessa and I get done, and it's up to her if she wants to stay, I am going to do another hour approximately, because there's so much going on in the 2 days. The last 2 days, I can't speak. I'm still hungover from that New Year's show. Seriously, so much stuff has gone on. I've got to talk about it. I was going to do a show yesterday, but things came up and I couldn't. So tonight I'll squeeze it in. It might be a 4-hour show. That was longer than Gilligan's Island, their little ride. That was only supposed to be a 3-hour tour, and they went 6 seasons. Oh my God. Hope you guys had a good New Year. I did and I didn't. I hate bad news. Did Mean Gene Okerlund die? Did I just read that in the chat room? Rest in peace, Mean Gene? Or is that just old news and I'm hearing about it? I don't know. I thought he was still alive.
Let me tell you something, brother. He's dead to me.
What? No, don't say that. Don't even joke around. No Hulk tonight. Unless he pops out. Now, it may happen. I can't stop the Hulk. He's the Hulk. He does what he wants, when he wants. He's power hungry. He needs the attention. You know, Hulk. I need the attention too, so I understand. But tonight, we're going to start off with Tessa Nicole Thomas-Peterson. She is the weekend host on Spaced Out Radio. Spaced Out Weekends, I believe, is what they call it. Let me do this because Tessa has so many things. What a bad way. Tessa is like a psychic, an experiencer. What else? Psychic. Maybe she does telekinesis. She can fly. I know I've seen her fly. She can do the Hulk. She's got some good moves. Seriously, though, she's doing the weekend show on Spaced Out Radio, and it's kind of like different, way different than a lot of shows I've heard, where you have somebody with actual experience in the field, whether it be a psychic or astral this or alien ET that or abductions and ghosts and personal experiences with family. I mean, we're talking over 30 years of living it, I guess. Tessa, are you with us? Yay, welcome to the show, the first guest and your first appearance, first guest of 2019. Never had you on the show, I can't believe it. Welcome. Well, you know, I'm weird that way. I don't want to ruin the friendship. Where are you so I can pull you up? Are you on Now, Tessa, now, of course, I'm here on video, but Tessa is also doing the Facebook Live. And is that, okay, I see where I got to go. I don't like Facebook anymore. But Tessa, while I'm pulling you up on video, can you give us a rundown? Because there's a lot of things, and I read your bio, and I was going to get into it and read almost everything I could. And I still can, but I'd rather hear it from you. So being that this is your first time with my audience, officially as yourself, alone. I mean, you were here with Dave on, what was it, Christmas show? We did that, but this is like more me and you now. So I really want to get into what makes you, you, why you do the things you do, say the things you say, believe what you believe. So can you bring us back to the very beginning? And you don't have to give every detail, you know what I mean? Just kind of give us a really good rundown of your experiences, why you are who you are, and everything you do on the show. Go. Wait, me too. Diddle, diddle, diddle. Okay, I'm there.
On the internet was more like the Kentucky Goblin, and so many things after that. My mother dying as well just piqued my interest in the paranormal as far as life after death. Where is she? What is she doing? And so many different, I don't know, premonitions and such. I don't refer to myself as a psychic because then people are going to expect more from me than I can deliver a lot of times.
I was calling you a psychic because I thought that, don't you, but you have psychic abilities, right? Is that what we could say?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
And then in 2012, we had tragedy strike our area. One of my oldest daughter's best friends had moved away, but then came back for Thanksgiving break and then was never seen again. And according to his dad, he just took off, but we all knew differently. His dad ended up taking his life. And so I'm sitting there holding my newborn son and looking outside, thinking about where he's at. I hope he's okay. I hope he's warm wherever he's at because this guy has been known to hide his kids out before. But then I was just like, I can't stay in the paranormal closet anymore. I got to come out. I don't care about the judgment or ridicule anymore. So that's when I started Four Corners Paranormal Investigations, and have just been helping people ever since. At first, we started out just doing random investigations to entertain ourselves, but now we're so busy, booked with jobs, helping other people that we don't even really have time for fun stuff anymore, as far as, just goofing off, goof on. But it's been awesome. And then I found, like you were saying before, Spacedoutradio, I found those guys sharing my page for page share on Mondays, and I was like, Spacedoutradio, I can relate. I'm spaced out, as you know. and started listening and found another paranormal family there, people I could relate to and feel comfortable with. And then Dave asked me to host on the weekends, started on Sundays, moved to Saturdays, so now I got the whole weekend, and it's been awesome. And that's where I think I found you there as well, and it's been amazing, just all the amazing people I've met and gotten to know, and it's been awesome. I love it.
Can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah, we're having weird technical issues, like nobody could hear you, and then now nobody could have heard me, and I didn't do anything, so it looks like everything's working now. So, but, all right, so what I wanted you to tell me, not because of what you just said, but what I want to hear. So, the earliest memory you have. I want to know about the earliest story that really changed you as a person. Like one day you're a little girl playing and all of a sudden you see something, but it made you so curious you couldn't stop thinking about it. What was that moment?
The earliest one was living, they call it the holler. It's kind of like what we would refer to as a valley or whatever here, but it's in the valley of a bunch of mountains. Here it's more mountainous, but
where
in
is
Arkansas,
that?
Boston, Arkansas. Excuse me. And my sister and I, we used to play at the foot of this old man, and to me he was real. I thought it was just another family member because my mother's family was so large and so immense, and we used to play at his feet as
Tessa, you said the foot of an old man. What do you mean? Like an apparition?
Yeah, he would sit in the rocking chair on the porch.
Ooh.
And rock back and forth, and we'd sit there playing and everything. And then it wasn't until we moved out, we were moving out, and that day, the whole, I want to call it a house, but it was actually like a little shack. The whole shack started shaking, cupboards opening and closing, dishes flying out. This guy was throwing a fit because he didn't want us to leave because he was so attached to us and we had grown so attached to him. And as we were leaving, I was asking, where is he? Where is he? And nobody else saw him except for me and my sister, I assume. Perhaps my mom did too. She was my spiritual side. She could communicate with the dead and see them. And so as my sister and myself and even my kids, we all have this gift.
Wait, your mom talked openly about this for as long as you can remember?
Yeah, she passed when she was killed by a drunk driver when I was 5, almost 6.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I don't think I remember that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no worries. I mean, things happen. And,
I know, but still.
And I really miss her. And that's where my, call it affliction or obsession with the sky came into par. Was looking into the sky every night and wishing upon a star. I wish my mom was still here. And then sunrises and sunsets, I knew she painted it for me because she was so amazing at painting and carving and all these other things. I remember watching her paint as a child. And so I always thought, my mom painted that for me, you know? So it was awesome. But yeah, that was my very first paranormal experience, was this guy really throwing a fit when we moved out. So yeah, that first put a little stint in my mind as far as things went, and then there was the fireball I spoke of.
Wait, hold on. So you moved out, right?
Mm-hmm.
What, did anything follow you to your next home, or did you come up and have some new stuff showing up? I mean, you could be one of those. What do they call it when they follow a certain person? A conduit, maybe.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this guy stayed with the shack, and then later on it had burned down.
Okay, but when you moved, you went to your new home. So did anything follow you there? He followed you there, is what you're saying?
No.
Okay.
The house we were living at, that's where we would play at his feet. And then we moved, and when we were moving that day, he threw a really big fit.
Yeah.
And then we moved into my grandma Nova and my grandpa Rex's house, and I don't remember anything happening there except for the scary rooster.
What?
And then we finally got our own house in Siloam Springs, and that's where we saw the fireball that hit our front porch and came up through the floor without leaving a trace of a burn. That's also where I saw my first, to me, my first full body apparition, because this older guy seemed so real to me. I think he was a past relative of ours or something.
Wait. No, I'm laughing at me because I meant to jump in quicker, but then you were talking about this guy, but the fireball with no burns, well, how's that possible? Do you still have it?
Know.
Did you ever keep it?
What? No.
That would have been cool. So how do you know? I mean, did somebody take a look at it? Did somebody come out, like, the city or something?
No, it was a really bad storm, which generally results in tornadoes in Siloam Spring, Arkansas, and our power went out. So we were all in the living room in a circle, kind of having a little powwow. My mom's telling stories to all of us kids, and I look up outside out the window, and at the power line, there's this fireball just sitting like there perfectly where the T of the power pole is.
Oh my God, I had something totally different, like it shot out of the sky like a rocket, that's what I'm thinking. Okay.
No, it was I first saw it at the power pole, and I pointed and I was like, Mom, what is that? And she's like, oh my gosh. And then all of a sudden it came and hit the porch, and it was like a clap, a really loud clap, and disappeared. And then it came up through the floor in the middle of all of us.
Oh my God.
And I started to proceed to talk, and my mom covers my mouth. And I guess this thing is attracted to sound. My oldest brother, Gary, was down the hallway getting our laundry out of the dryer. And so this thing moved from in the middle of us into the dining room and then shot down the hallway at him, and he totally collapsed on the floor. It went out the back wall, and then we didn't see it again. So that was interesting. I've heard of electrical fireballs and stuff like that during storms or around swamps or, swamp gas or whatever. But this thing seemed intelligent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ball lightning, yeah.
It moved intelligently.
Ball lightning would not do that, though. But so now, is there a name other than ball lightning for what you saw? Did you ever know anybody have a name for that thing?
I've told a story before, and someone said, "Oh, that's St. Elmo's fireball" or something like that, which I have no idea what that is. But I was like, okay. Well, to me, it was just an intelligent ball of fire.
What did your mom say? It was.
I don't remember her saying anything about it. She was just like, shh, shh. And she covered my mouth, and she wanted us all to be quiet. And, I was probably only 3 or 4 at that age. Being so young, I just wanted to be like, Mom, what is that? And, continue to talk. And so she covered my mouth very tightly to where no sounds were coming out. And it heard the sound of my brother down the hallway messing with the laundry. And then he started to walk down the hallway, and then it shot down towards him and out the back wall, which we lived in a brick house with wooden floors. But there was no burn on the floor. There was no burn on the walls or any source of, even if you throw a firework at a wall and it blows up or whatever, you'll get some black marks or whatever from that explosion. Yeah. There was nothing like that. So that was interesting.
So now I'm not trying to interrupt you or anything like that. I don't know these stories about you, and that's why I wanted to have you on so badly, is it? And I wanted you on because I don't want to run through everything. I want to really get to know these stories because you've told them. Maybe I didn't hear them all, and my audience never heard them, and they're always asking me, why don't you have somebody, maybe a psychic on, or razzing me about it, or somebody who could channel, and I'm like, I'm gonna get Tessa. I trust you. We had you on because we were talking about UFOs, that these pictures you took of these objects in the sky, which we'll get to. But
Mm-hmm.
I really wanted to interview you a little bit aggressively because I really want to know details this time. I don't want you to skip over this stuff. I know, I'm not trying to be a jerk. It's just I don't want you to just rush over it, so I'm stopping you, and I'm very curious. So, okay, so you were about to say something else, right? And I interrupted you, but I was interested in this other ghost you saw, right?
Yeah, no worries. And I totally understand, like, a lot of times when I'm on the show, I'm like, I don't know if I've told the story or not before. You guys are probably tired of hearing it, and then I'll tell it again. But this was the first thing that I realized was an actual ghost that I'd ever seen. And I've always had issues with sleeping. I've had night terrors all my life. I've had all these scary happenings in my life that, to me, kept me up. And still today, I'm a night owl. I'll stay up till 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning is my bedtime. So everybody else is asleep, and we had a really small house. To me, at the time, it seemed really big, but you go back as an adult, and you're like, my God, how did my mom and my dad and 5 kids fit in this house?
Right.
And so we kind of had family beds and a bunk bed in one of the back rooms, and my mom and dad had their own room, and I'm laying there at the edge of the bed staring out into the hallway, and I don't know if you remember these old clocks that had the flowing river or whatever and the cool lights coming through it. It looked like a moving river. And so I'm staring out in the hallway at the light bouncing off one wall to the other and just kind of daydreaming or whatnot, and all of a sudden I hear this knock, knock, knock as far as footsteps coming down the hallway. And I'm like, okay, that's weird. I thought everybody was in bed. And I keep hearing it coming closer and closer. And I'm like, okay, maybe my mom, because it sounds like a female as far as the shoes and everything. Maybe my mom went into the kitchen to get something to drink. And I blinked at the time she passed the doorway. Gets closer and closer. So I'm calling out, Mom. I don't hear a response. Mom. Still nothing. And then as soon as I start to say Mom again, I'm like, Ma. And then all of a sudden this thing appears in front of my doorway, and she's about 2 or 3 inches off the floor. She's wearing a long black lace dress with a black veil over her face. And, you know, of course you use your shield of the covers. I pull the covers up to between my nose and my eyes and just looking, staring, and this thing stops in the middle of my doorway and slowly turns its head and looks at me. And then slowly turns its head back down the hallway and keeps walking. And then I hear my mom's door creak open, and it walks into there, and then it closes. A week later, my mom got into a car accident, and then I never got to see her again because my dad thought it was too traumatic for us kids to go up to see her. Had it been me, I would have let my kids go and say goodbye, even though she really didn't have any knowledge or wits about her as far as what was going on. I still would have let them have the chance to say goodbye, but he left us in the car, went up to see her a few times. And so I always kind of thought, well, maybe this thing was something demonic or something that took her life. And our family was separated after that. My 3 older siblings went with their dad, and me and my little brother went with ours. And occasionally my older sister Kathy and my brother Greg would come to stay with us, but my brother Gary never would. But as we would get together, we would share stories about things we experienced as we were kids and such. And my sister told a story of the same woman. And she was in her room, and this was back in the day of 8-tracks and records. She was in her room listening to her Michael Jackson Thriller record, and she was so in love with this guy. And she turns around, and this woman is standing in her bedroom. And the lady tells her, close your window. And my sister is like, what? Who are you? Why are you in my room? And she said, Sterner, close and lock your window. And she continues as a, almost teenager to argue with this woman she's never seen before. Very sternly, almost angrily, but not angry, but stern, close and lock your window. And so she listened, she turned around, closed and locked the window, turned around, the lady was gone. My sister immediately went and told my mom, and my mom was like, just do what she said. And we lived off the side of a highway, so all kinds of people were coming through all the time on this highway. So who knows who could come down or do what. She said, I know it's the middle of summer, it's really hot, leave your window closed and locked like the lady said, and we'll go out and investigate tomorrow. So we did, and there was pry marks on the window. There was footprints outside of the window. And not only that, there was burn marks in the floor, and my sister could even reiterate this to you. There was burn marks of like late 17, early 1800s high heel boot shoe of a woman, really small feet, burnt into her wooden floor. And that's when she got really serious with like close and lock your window. She was so serious that it just burned into the floor. And so at that point, when she told me that story, I realized this lady wasn't there to harm us. She was actually there to protect us. So that was very cool, a really cool realization.
Yeah, but no, I mean, I have done 80% UFOs, 20% ghosts and spirits. So I've never heard of that. Somebody's feet or shoes have burned on the wooden floor. Like, you're thinking maybe that was the fireball thing?
No, I think that was from her, like, as my sister argued with her, I don't know if it was her anxiety or her intention, got stronger and stronger. The more she argued, the more serious her voice got. And she got so serious that even though her shoes weren't touching the floor, her footprints still burned into the floor. And I still remember seeing them. You see kind of the triangle in the front and the little heel part in the back. So that was really interesting.
That's bizarre. Okay. And how old were you then?
I was 5, almost 6.
So you're in kindergarten, basically, right? Because first grade, I think, is 6 or 7.
I actually went into kindergarten pretty late because we lived out in the boonies.
Oh.
After my mom passed, we moved out of that house in the boonies, and we actually moved into the city, and that's when I started. I didn't even get to go to kindergarten. I went to first grade without kindergarten, so I felt kind of out of the loop and behind everybody else. So that was kind of hard for me trying to play catch up. But yeah, out of the sticks into the city, and then a whole different thing started.
It's amazing how people get, you're born, you live this life. There's no real pamphlet that people live by. We just do the best we can, and it's like you've already had the weird experiences, and then you don't even do kindergarten, which is supposed to be a very strong time, as far as relating to other children, being around other kids, as many, following rules of another person. It's the beginning of the indoctrination into being an American. I don't know. But But it's weird that you would miss that very important piece. And do you think that had any play on you, like as a person? Like, did that set the groundwork, you think? Or I know it's early, but do you always feel like you've been different than everybody else, I guess?
Yeah, I really felt like I was different. I didn't have the same, like you said, set of rules and ground rules or whatever that everybody else had. I didn't have the head start that everybody had, and I felt alienated a lot of times. I didn't ever have a lot of friends, ever. I always felt like the outcast, and anytime that I would try to share my stories with people, they'd look at me like I was crazy, or they'd be like, oh yeah, I had this experience, and they'd tell me their story, which was very few and far between. So I learned to keep that. Go ahead.
You were just answering, I was going to say, but you didn't talk about that in school, did you? And I think you were answering that.
I learned not to. Like, at first I'd be like, hey, this happened and this, and people would look at me like I was crazy, and so I learned, even though it was acceptable to my mother and to my siblings who were more spiritual, my dad, he didn't really have any spiritual experiences until he got with my mom. And he actually saw the guy in the coveralls going up this ladder into the roof where there was no hole and no ladder, actually. But yeah, I learned that it wasn't socially acceptable as it was in my family, and people look upon you as if you're crazy. And that's where the whole fearing of judgment and ridicule began, and I didn't really know what to talk to people about besides Star Trek and Scooby-Doo and whatever, know.
Good stuff, yeah. But do you think your mom was a witch?
We've talked about it as far as me and my siblings, and my older siblings remember more than I do as far as my mother goes, and they think that she did practice magic or witchcraft, but more, not the dark magic, but the white magic. But still, I think, and this is an experience I had after moving to Fayetteville, that really, really opened my eyes. And I shared this story with my dad when we got together at this family reuniting. But so we were with my dad in Fayetteville for a couple years, and he really got into, he was always a drinker. My mom and dad were always partiers. But he really went off the deep end when he lost her, because he really, really loved her. And he couldn't handle 2 young kids, so he ended up sending us to my mom's parents, because both his parents were dead. And I ended up staying in my mom's room. My brother stayed in a room down the hallway. And one night, I'm laying in bed, as usual, trying to get to sleep. And I see this light coming through my window, which is really weird, because we thought we were in the sticks before, but we were really, really in the sticks. And at this point, we're in Pettigrew, Arkansas. And we're at my granny's house, and outside of my bedroom is a chicken yard. Well, all of a sudden, I see this light coming through my window, and I see these different figures dancing through the light, and I start hearing this chattering and chanting and such. And so I creep down the wall of my bed. My bed's right next to the window. The window's at the foot of my bed. And I kind of peek out, and I see this big old bonfire in the chicken yard. And I see these little creatures jumping and dancing around it, and they're chattering. Some have like little, I don't know, like little stick things, like a spear or something. Some have drums banging on something, and they're dancing around, chattering. I can't understand what they're saying. And all of a sudden, they all stop all at once, and they turn to look at me. But when they stop, I just kind of duck from the window, get back up on my pillow, and hide under my shield, which is the sheet and blankets. And you can see the shadows getting closer to the window, and they're, peering through. You can see their big ears, which the only way I can just describe these things looking like to me were like gremlins. And so they're looking through the window, and they're kind of chattering quietly back and forth to each other, trying to see what was looking at them, and they didn't see anything, so they left. But I think that's the point when they went to my brother's room, because after this night, and I'll get to that after I get to my dream. Okay, so moving on to my dream, I end up finally going to sleep that night.
Right.
And I'm having this weird dream that's very, very vivid, and my bed starts lifting up from the headboard. Starts going up and up and up, and I'm kind of scooting down my bed, sliding on the sheets, and the only thing that's keeping me from falling, which there's a hole at the end of my bed that's open in the floorboard, and there's fire and this horrible, awful smell coming from it. And the only thing that's keeping me from falling in there is putting my thumbs into the footboard, which is about probably 4 or 5 inches below my mattress. And I'm putting my thumb and holding on with my fingers, trying not to fall in this hole. And then I wake up, and I'm at the end of my bed, and my sheets are all messed up and everything. And I'm just like, holy crap, that was like the most vivid dream I've ever had. And, thinking about it, running through my head, like, what could this be? And then all of a sudden I smell smoke. But it's not the same smoke I smelled before. And it's not my grandparents' smoke. I have a box on my wall, velvet tobacco, which my grandparents used to roll their cigarettes with. It wasn't that. It was something different. And then I realized it's coming from my doorway, so I don't quickly turn my head. I just slowly turn my head, hoping whatever's there doesn't notice me. And I see this figure in my doorway. I didn't have a door. I had these yellow lace curtains kind of tied back because I never liked my door closed. I want it tied back so I could see what's going on. I see this dark figure in my doorway, and he lifts a cigar to his lips, and he takes a puff, and as he does, the ember lights up his face and his collar and like where his bow tie is. He's wearing this really nice tuxedo jacket. He's got a bow tie on, and his hair is slicked back, and he's the most gorgeous man that I had ever seen in my life. And immediately I knew who it was. This was the devil. And my dad always taught me, because of my night terrors and such, to say, God stands before me, Satan fall behind. And I didn't even have to say it out loud, because I couldn't move my lips. I couldn't get my voice to come out. Oh. And so I said it in my head, God stands before me, Satan fall behind. And just like that, I was knocked out, and I didn't have to deal with him. Going back to when the family got together, sharing stories and everything, I shared the story with my family. My dad turned white as a sheet. And everybody's like, are you okay? Are you okay? And he's like, your mother told the same story, except he was right beside your bed. And she talked to him for quite some time. And who knows what they said or what sort of deal she made. But she was so young, who would have known if she knew what sort of deal she was making or not? So we've all wondered through the years, did she make a deal that he finally came and collected on when her life was taken right up the road from our house by this drunk driver? Yeah, because that day, my sister drove by in a car and she saw this, and this is so out of place for out in the sticks in Pettigrew, or not Pettigrew, but Siloam Springs, Arkansas. Mm-hmm. There was this stretch black limo. There's this really gorgeous guy standing beside it in a tuxedo with a bow tie, smoking a cigar, just watching her drive by. That's where my mom was killed, was on that corner, right where we'd go to get suckers and candy and other stuff, as we were going somewhere else to Fayetteville or Springdale or wherever, was probably about 30 to 50 miles away from us. But yeah, I think he came to collect on whatever deal she had made. And from what my sister remembered, my mom had talked about it was either her or her kids. And so my mom decided to give up her life, or else he would take us.
Right, but what kind of deal would anyone make where they would have themselves, sold at a certain part when their kids need them the most? I don't understand.
Well, she made it when she was young, when she was still living at my grandma and grandpa's house. She didn't even have kids at that point.
No, I know, but to make a deal... I'm trying to imagine, why would anyone make a deal, and how, do you make a deal and you don't know when you're going to be taken, collected? So I'm trying to think, as a young girl, what was that deal? I can't imagine the devil going after such an innocent girl, making deals with children. Would the devil do that? I guess.
Well, I think it's because you're so young and innocent, and you don't really know a lot at the time. And when I was,
but that shouldn't be a valid contract, is what I'm saying.
He came after, because they say there's a certain age where you are, able to make your own decisions, such as being baptized or whatnot. Oh, really? Which is around 7 or 8.
Oh, okay.
And that's why they won't let you get baptized until that certain age, unless you're Catholic. But he came after me.
Yeah.
But I knew what to say, and so he went away. But I felt him for so long until about the age of 33, and then I felt like that had passed. My sister had been assaulted by not a gorgeous man, but a scaly creature that was on her body, like trying to rape her. And she was feeling on its back, and she could feel scales. And she dug her thumb like in between the scales with her nail and stabbed it, and it finally got off of her. But she had been attacked throughout her life as well. I think that we have some sort of magic or something within us, some sort of gift that he is attracted to us. He wants us as a bride. It didn't work with our mother, so he went to us. And so I told my kids these stories. I want them to know everything because I want them to be educated and able to protect themselves in case they come for them as well.
Right. That's got to be scary, though. Knowing that it could be happening, because, you have to worry about your kids now, just like your mother did. So maybe there was a threat. Maybe he revisited her at an older age and said, look, it's time to go. Do you remember you made this deal when you were 7.5 years old? It's time to go. And maybe she's like, well, I don't want to go. Well, then I'm taking one of your kids. Maybe it was one of those things. I don't know.
Yeah. And my sister remembered something as far as well, if you don't, I'm taking your kids or one of your kids, like you were saying.
Oh my God.
And so she's
crazy.
like, okay. Yeah. And so she made the deal. And I remember the day that she got in her car accident, and I wanted to go with her, and she's like, you can't go with me because you won't live. And I'm like, what are you talking about? She's like, I have to drop you off over here. Well, I don't want to go there. And when she dropped me off, I cried and cried and cried. I didn't even go into the house. I got into their car in the driveway, and I sat there and cried, and it's rain coming down. It's a thunderstorm. And then all of a sudden the clouds part and the sun comes through, and I'm not crying anymore. I feel kind of at ease, and everything's okay. And I walk into the house, and it's total pandemonium and chaos. Everybody's running around screaming, and the mom's on the phone, and she's like, we'll be there in just a little bit, blah, blah, blah. Well, my sister, being as headstrong as she was, and still is, was like, no, Mom, I'm going with you. I'm going with you. Okay, so sit in the back seat. So my sister and this lady's daughter sat in the back seat of my mom's car, and as they were pulling out, this drunk driver hit them. He had tied one on the night before at a bachelor party, was late for the wedding, flying to the wedding, ran into my mom's car, and that was basically the end of her, except for they kept her on life support for a couple weeks. But my sister got up with a broken hip and ran about a block to the payphone and called us. She doesn't remember any of this. She called us, told us exactly what happened, come and get us.
Wow.
And so the lady's on the phone when I go through the door. The kids are running around screaming and crying. And so we all load into the car. We go there. She gets out. I think her kids get out too. I'm the only one left in the car. She's like, stay here, because she doesn't want me to see my sister. She doesn't want me to see my mom. And so I'm sitting in the car, and I remember I saw like the white sheets on the pavement in front of me. I saw the paramedics, and they were loading somebody into the ambulance. And then I just remember looking through the back window, like I felt like somebody was going to hit the car. But nobody ever did. But I felt that anxiety.
Yeah.
But she doesn't even remember running on a broken hip to the payphone and calling us, but she did. And it was just the oddest thing, really. Like, there's so many stories that I have in my life that don't really make sense. But I think everything does happen for a reason. No matter how good or how bad it is, it's for a reason.
Yeah, so you see, that to me would seem like a very life-altering experience. Obviously it is, the loss of your mom. But as far as the paranormal goes and everything else that you're delving into, it seems like, honestly, it has been with you your whole life, pretty much, as long as you can remember, right? I mean, 30-something years is a long time.
Yeah, I did have a break. After we moved in with our grandparents, they were so old. Like, I was a good kid. My brother has always been, ever since, okay, so going back to this dream that I had, and then, seeing the cobalts, this dream. After that, my brother used to have these night terrors where he'd run through the house screaming, they're after me, they're after me. And he'd go into the living room, through the stove area, which was my grandma's pantry. She kept all her dry goods and stuff in there, and there was a stove. And then into the kitchen. And she'd always keep that back door closed. There was a little tiny entryway back there that led out to the bathroom that was outside. But she kept that door closed. So he'd go and run into that door. He'd come back, and there was an inch-tall step in her kitchen between the pantry room with the stove and the kitchen. And he'd run into that door, come back, screaming, they're after me, they're after me. He'd always trip over this little step, and he'd be scurrying, trying to get away. Finally, eventually, and I don't know if this is good or bad, I kind of think my grandparents were somewhat in league, but I'm being joined by Lily.
Mom, I need to go poop.
Okay, go tell your dad.
Oh.
Poor Lily, go tell your dad. Or Nova.
That's so cute. It's a girl? I couldn't tell over the phone. Oh, what'd she say?
She said she needed to go poo.
That's the best ever.
Yeah, I need to go poop. I'm like, oh my gosh, where is everybody?
Aww.
But he'd do that every night, and then one night my grandparents, instead of chasing him, waited at the entryway between the dry room of the pantry room and the kitchen, and they caught him and held him, and they actually looked in the direction of which these things were chasing him, and then he's struggling, trying to get away, and all of a sudden he just kind of collapsed in their arms. Like, you know how he's like struggling, and then all of a sudden it was like he was asleep. After that, he didn't have these night terrors anymore, but there was a big change in him. Different things he'd do were darker. He had a really good heart, but he was always in trouble. And so I think the goblins got him. And, you know, I shared the story with my family. My siblings always stayed in the back room where he had stayed, and the only thing they witnessed was like red eyes looking through their window. They never saw these little guys that I had seen or he had seen, and my brother to this day still will not talk to me about it.
How old is he now?
He is 38.
Okay.
39. So later on in the years, I'm 21 years old, and I'm sharing these stories with my coworker. And she's like, "Oh, my cousin's the same way," and she called them kobolds. I never learned the name for them until she said kobolds. Well, when I look online, these kobolds wear hats and clothes and stuff like that. These guys didn't. And like I said, they looked more like gremlins. They had the shiny skin, the big ears, the kind of dog nose, but kind of puggish. I don't know. They're like shorter than a longer dog nose. They look like gremlins to me is the way that I could explain it. But then when I was looking here this past year, these aren't kobolds. They're more like Kentucky goblins, but their eyes don't glow. I mean, I don't know. It's weird. I'm still trying to find answers, but yeah.
Have you ever heard of a Faustian deal? If I'm saying that right? Well, William Patterson in the chat room here on YouTube said it usually goes for 10 years, and then you have to sacrifice something, he thinks. And then, you know, when it's your time, you have to meet up and pay the piper. I never heard of it either. And he's into that. I mean, he writes, you know, horror and stuff like that. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, I didn't know if you heard of it, you know, to give us more info, but I never heard of it either. I thought I heard of just about everything. So, you know, this obviously had changed you, I think, and you've always been interested, obviously, in the paranormal. So, you're growing up, you're becoming a woman, and did you get married?
I did get married, but then I was telling you, we moved from our grandparents because they couldn't handle us to my aunt and uncles, and then that's when I got baptized into the LDS church. Yes, I'm a Jack Mormon. I don't go to church anymore. That's why I call myself a Jack Mormon, because I believe in some of the things that they practice, but I believe in some of the things that all these different religions practice. As a child, I went to all kinds of different churches, and then even in the Marine Corps, you have every church at the tips of your fingers. You can go anywhere you want to. So I was like, I want to check this out, and I want to check this out because I've never got to. But yeah, once I got baptized, it was kind of like a silence as far as the paranormal went. I still stayed up every night expecting or thinking something was going to happen, but it didn't. And then once I reached the age of about 13, it started again, and I started seeing shadow people following me, and then I'd hear my mother's voice calling me, Tessa, Tessa, this way, Tessa. And so, you know, I'd look back to see, because I knew they were following me, I could feel them, and they'd be darting in and out of shadows and such. But I'd keep running, keep going forward towards her voice until I got home. And, you know, different things happened after that, but it seemed like there was a lull between the age of, I didn't quite hit the age of 7 to get baptized like a lot of kids do, right. Because I came to my aunt and uncle's house later on in life. So I got baptized at the age of 8, so I had a lull of about 5 years. There was this guy that used to stand at my doorway when I lived at my aunt and uncle's house. We had a 2-story house, and the upstairs was like an apartment that had a kitchen and a bathroom and everything. And this guy would just stand at my doorway and just stand there and stare in. But that was the most of it. Like, nothing else happened. So I had a lull in the paranormal experiences, and I don't know if it was because I got baptized and it was some sort of protection or something going on.
Yeah, I could see why you would think that.
Yeah.
Maybe it's true. Maybe.
I don't know. That's the
mean,
only way I can explain it, because it was like so active before then, and then it was kind of like I'm expecting something to happen, but nothing's happening, right?
But did you wind up dating, before you got married? But because the reason I'm asking that question, because I only had experience when I had my wife. She's the only girl I've been with since I've had any experiences. So I don't know how someone's partner would feel about that. Did you have any kind of pushback from anyone thinking you were, like, when they found out about it, did they like say forget you or like me too? How did you know what I mean? Did you have any issues with any people like that?
Yeah, I had some people that I was with. My first boyfriend, he would tell me stories as far as his mostly were some sort of demon thing, and he used to ride BMX bikes, and he would ride down the ditch bank, and one day him and his friend were riding down the ditch bank. They saw lightning strike, and they saw this Anubis type creature where the lightning struck.
What's
with
Anubis?
Its eyes like Egyptian culture, the black dog with the really tall ears.
That's
with
cool.
its with its arms crossed.
Wow. And
it was kind of like in a frozen state, and his friend was like, we gotta go before it wakes up. And so they did. But he really didn't have a lot of stories, and I ended up leaving him and going to the military because it was a very abusive relationship, not only verbally but physically. And you know how they take you away from your friends and your family, and you feel like you don't have anybody. So I'm all depressed, slumped down on the couch, and one day I see this Marine Corps commercial, so I call, and he doesn't even know I'm going into the Marine Corps until I'm like, hey, I'm leaving in like a week. What you gonna do about it? So I joined the military, and there was all kinds of cool things that happened, but it wasn't until I was in MRP, which is the Marine Rehabilitation Platoon. I went through boot camp. I was partially through combat training when all of a sudden my foot just snapped in half.
Oh my God.
For no apparent reason. But I kept going. And I stopped that night, and I showed the field medic. I was like, hey, this is what my foot's doing. I almost fell on my face. I don't know what happened. And he's like, you have a fracture all across where, I don't know if you know what jungle boots are, but there's a seam that goes across your foot. And I had tendonitis and arthritis and all kinds of stuff that I found out when I was 18, 19 years old. And I thought I was really young for arthritis, but the guy said that arthritis is the #1 crippling illness of children. I was like, wow, well, that's a first for me.
Right.
So my foot snaps basically in half, and he's like, you better keep your boot on or you're going to have to start all over. So I put it back on. I didn't take it off again. Slept in my boots and everything until I finished combat training. As soon as I graduated, I wish he had told me, like, wait until you go to your MRS school. Because once you go into the medical facility, before you go to your school, you're basically stuck there and you won't get any further. So I'm stuck there in MRP, and we go through Hurricane Bonnie in North Carolina, and this guy, I want to say lieutenant, but it was Private Black, had a Ouija board. Well, this guy ended up getting killed during field practices. He laid in front of a tank of all things.
Oh my God.
and got crushed.
On purpose?
So, no, not intentionally. He was laying out in the road thinking these guys could see him and what he was doing, and got crushed.
What?
During training.
That's crazy.
Right? You would think he would hear what was going on or whatever, but no.
Yeah.
So he had a Ouija board, and so the male platoon from MRP was passing it back and forth between us and them. And being raised LDS from the age of 8 on, I had learned D&D, which I love D&D. I love role-playing. And Ouija boards are evil. So...
Wait, what's LDS?
Latter-day Saints, Mormons.
Okay, yeah, I didn't know. I thought maybe I should ask. I'm like, yeah, sure. I don't know what you're talking about. All right, so Latter-day Saints and all right, go ahead. That's stupid.
So these girls are playing on this Ouija board, and I'm just kind of hanging on the side of the rack and watching. And hey, Tess or Thomas, they call you by your last name, Thomas. You want to come in and try this? And I'm like, no, I'm okay. I'll just watch for now. And it's like bouncing back and forth, ping ponging and whatever. And they're like, come on, you got to try this. You got to try this. And I'm like, God, I've been wanting to talk to my mom for so long. The only time I saw her was a little bit after she passed. And she came to me in a dream. And it was, okay, I'm walking on this sidewalk through this park, which there's no like toys or anything to play on. It's like a sidewalk and then grass and then trees on each side. And then I see this figure walking towards me. And as we get closer and closer, I can see it's my mom. And as we meet, there's this park bench right exactly where we meet. Go figure. And so we sit down and we're talking. And she's like, I just want you to know that I'm okay. And I love you. And everything's going to be okay. Tell Kathy, Gary, Greg, John, tell your dad, I love them. Everything's okay. Everything's going to be okay. And so I was asking her questions. She couldn't answer a lot. And she looked to the left and she's like, hey, I got to go. And I was like, okay, well, I love you and I'll miss you. And she left. I didn't see her again until I was like 16. And she appeared again in a dream at the model cafe where I worked in Ozark, Arkansas. And I'm waiting tables. And all of a sudden I see my dad smiling at me like he's smiling bigger than I've seen him smile in so many years. And I come there and I see the back of people's heads, but I'm not really paying attention because I see his big smiling face. And then I look and it's my mom and I can't say anything. All I can do is cry and cry and cry. Like I can't say anything. I'm just crying. And I wake up, my boyfriend wakes me up at the time and there's like my face is just flooded with tears and I'm just crying so hard because I got to see her again after so many years. And I realized it was Mother's Day. So I went and saw her. But anyways, so I decided to get on this Ouija board. And I'm like, can I talk to my mom? And it says no. And I was like, well, F you then. I don't know if I can say cuss words here. But F you then. I'm going to go take a shower. Because that's where I was going anyways. And so I go and I take a shower. And I come back. Everybody's gone. And this Ouija board is on my rack. Which is a term for a bed. Okay. In military status. And so I'm like, okay, let me try it out. I didn't know the rules of the Ouija board. You're not supposed to do it by yourself. And you're supposed to close it out, all this other good stuff. And I see it there and I'm like, yeah, I see it and I'm like, all right, well, I guess I'll try it again. And so I try it again and then it starts off really, really slow. And then it just goes faster and faster and faster and faster to the point where I can barely keep my hands on it, Tell John, tell Gary, tell Greg, tell Kathy, tell your dad, I love them, I'm okay, and all this other stuff. And then I get into this lengthy conversation with her, like, where are you? What are you doing? Do you like where you're at? And she said she can do anything she wants, anytime she wants. She can fly. She can do all this other stuff. She's happy. I mean, so many awesome things. So I was so excited and I felt so fulfilled. Well, in the meantime, the girls in my platoon are trying to talk to me. They're trying to get my attention, but I'm not hearing anything they're saying. I don't hear anything. And they're like hitting me on the arm. I don't feel anything. I don't hear anything. And then finally, they break me out of it, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize you guys were trying to get my attention. Well, I was so excited. The next day, I went and I called my dad, and I was like, guess what? I talked to Mom on the Ouija board. And my dad was like, well, you don't know if that was really her or not. It could be somebody trying to emulate her and yada, yada, yada. But right. I think she heard me earlier wanting to talk to her and this thing telling me no, and then she came through because how could she know all my siblings' names or this thing? Know all my siblings' names and what had happened and all these things that I was asking for. But at the same time, they know how to manipulate you and what you're looking for and ways to kind of draw you in. So that was the second and last time I ever used a Ouija board. But it was all in the same night, and I haven't used one since.
And that was over 20 years ago, right?
Yes, I was I think I was 18 or 19 years old at the time.
So 30 years ago. Wow. I'm joking. It's 20 years ago. I was making you 10 years older. All right. So these are really amazing stories. And obviously, something, and I don't know, I think there may be something that's always within you and within some people. Not that it, you can call it guardian angels, you can call it spirits, you can call it whatever you want, but there seems to be something that we can't understand that is evil, good, indifferent. It's very confusing, Tessa. So, knowing what you know and getting into the research part of it, because when did you get into researching? Like right away, or did that come later? I mean, because you have all this knowledge, all these personal experiences, and meeting people who have experiences. When did you get into the actual boots on the ground type of, investigating, I guess you could say?
It was in 2012 when Dylan Redwine was taken by his father, and that was actually the same year I saw my first. Well, it was actually right before that I saw my first UFO.
Cool. Okay.
But when I decided to finally go through coming out of the paranormal closet and helping other people, and not caring about the judgment or ridicule anymore, I just wanted to help this mother that was missing her son as I'm holding my newborn son in my arms. Like, I need to do something to help her.
I mean, did you just do it by yourself?
No, it was me, my mentor, Kat, which she died from cancer.
Oh my God. Okay.
My friend Glow and my friend, man, I'm trying to think of her name. I haven't seen her in so long. I want to say Sharon, and, no, it's Rhonda. Kat, Glow, Rhonda, and this other girl that was just kind of in it at the moment. But we actually went up and we heard his voice 3 times through the ghost box, and he's like, hello? And we're like, hey, we can hear you. And he's like, hello? And I'm like, yeah, what's going on? Like, where are you? And he said hello the 3rd time, and he sounded so surprised that somebody could hear him. Like, he's been stuck up here on Middle Mountain for so long, and nobody's talked to him or tried to hear him. And yeah, it was really interesting. We went back down to that house that night. We actually went down the road from the house to kind of be incognito.
Yeah.
And we heard all kinds of crunching and stuff through the aspen trees. And then we decided, okay, now it's late enough. We can go down to the house. Mark Redwine's gone. Yada, yada, yada. And we go down there. There's a cattle guard between the driveway. And you go a certain distance, and then you're free from the cattle guard. And so Kat and Glow go across the cattle guard, and they're like, come on, come on. Well, it's me and Sadie on the other side, and we're just frozen because we're staring at the house, and there's this thing going back and forth really fast in front of the windows. And they're like, come on, we only have so much time. And we're like, we can't go any further. And they're like, why? What are you talking about? There's someone or something in the house. And they're like, what? He's gone. There's nobody in the house. And they came back. What we saw was, like I said again, like Anubis, but it wasn't Anubis. Come to find out, was like the jackal, which is much worse. And he was running back and forth in front of the windows. And we're just seeing it like faster than the speed of anything you could see traveling back and forth through any house of this size. But you could see it, and it looked like there was lights behind, like there was TVs or something in the background, but you could see it traveling back and forth really fast. So they came back, and we left, and come to find out later, my roommate, Brian, which is our roommate again, said there was a black dog thing following you, which was really scary and disheartening. But yeah, that was really strange.
I gotta ask you, because time is flying by, and I have to know, because I'm gonna be delving into it this year. Can you explain to me and other people what astral is? It what are they calling it? Astral realm? What is the word used to describe what that is? Is it astral plane? Is it? I mean, what are they calling it?
I'm not certain. When I was in MRP, I accidentally astraled, trying to take a nap before lunch or chow. And I heard the sergeant call us into order in line, and I could open my eyes, but I couldn't move, and I'm struggling to get free. But during this dream sort of thing that I had, I felt really, really drunk. Like I could not walk without leaning against walls, leaning against sinks and stuff like that. And there were these guys in there fixing our sinks and stuff, and I was like being all flirty and leaning on stuff, and I felt really, really drunk. Then she called us into chow, and I opened my eyes. I could see all the girls running past me, but I could not move. And I struggled so hard. I strained so hard. I was sore for, I swear to God, like 2 weeks from my muscle strains of trying to get free from this being frozen. And I only experienced that one other time. People say it's called sleep paralysis, but I've only experienced it twice in my life. Once when I was about 18, 19 years old. Once again when I was in my, I think, 30s, early 30s. And the second time was in Farmington, New Mexico, and the guys were playing at a bar there, and there was an apartment in the back. Barely any windows. You have windows in like the kitchen area, in the bathroom, but none in the bedrooms. So we decided to lay down for a nap that evening. The only light that's coming in through this room is underneath the bedroom door. And so we kind of fooled around a little bit, decided to take a nap so we'd be refreshed for the evening. And I'm laying there trying to get to sleep, and all of a sudden I see this figure in the dark that's darker than the dark. And I'm like, what the hell is that? And all of a sudden I realize I can't move. And this thing is talking to me, not out loud, but within my mind, telepathically. And he said, I will have you. And I can't speak. So in my mind, I was like, no, you won't. And he just kind of laughed. And when he laughed, his like lips went back and his teeth were bared. And you can see his teeth. I want to say they were glowing, but they were just so white and glimmering and shining and sharp. And he just laughed, and you can see the saliva coming off of them and everything. And then he leaned down and kissed me. And when he did, the shock went through my canines, up through my head, through my body, and down and out my toes. And at that point, I could kick my feet. That's the only thing in my body I could move. I couldn't scream. I'm trying to scream with all my might, but I'm just kicking my feet frantically. All of a sudden, my husband wakes up because he's barely gone to sleep. And he turns around and he sees this thing, and he grabs me and pulls me towards him, and the thing disappears. That was the most frightening, dark apparition I'd ever seen, and I've seen several shadow people in my life, but this thing, like, I don't know, the teeth and the communicating with me telepathically and everything. The next morning, going to work, back from Farmington, New Mexico to Durango, I was looking in my rearview mirror, turning around, looking in my back seat, like, I think this thing is going to try to come with me, but it didn't. I didn't never see it again, but I was so afraid that it would have.
I mean, that's just nuts. The reason I was asking about the astral thing, and it sounds like it's a form of meditation, but it seems like this is the new thing. This is what's popular. It seems like we're going through some sort of phase again. Like a couple of years ago, it was palm readings. Years ago before that, it was, reading cards, tarot cards. And then before that, it was telekinesis. And it seems like every 5 to 7 years, we get this new experience that explodes all over the world. But this seems like it's different this time around with this astral realm that people say they can visit or enter. And when you talk about like sleep paralysis and things of that nature, too many people are having these experiences. Some people are
Yeah.
seeing aliens, some people see demons, but a lot of people seem to see the same thing. And I don't know if that's pop culture playing a big role in it. Some people, tribes that have no access to what we do here, they have the same experiences of aliens and demons and things that you mentioned, the Anubis thing. So I don't know if this is something that's in all of us, and maybe we are created from something that is put into our DNA to keep us maybe in check or control us. Maybe we don't have free will. I mean, we could go on for a lot, for an hour, 10 hours, whatever you want. Talk about this.
Let's go for 10 hours.
Oh, I just did 9. I mean, we can do it.
We can do it.
I can do it all. Look at me. But I want to know.
Look at you. You're
I'm
so
fantastic.
handsome.
This is fantastic. Lots of fun.
You're fantastic. I like your suit.
I've been flexing the whole time. I mean, forget about it.
I like your muscles.
I know, right? Even you can see them through 2 shirts.
That's right. You're rippling. You're rippling biceps.
I'm always rippling. Who are we kidding? Maria, get me a strudel. All right.
Let me tell you something, brother.
Let me tell you something, sister. You're gonna do the show. You're gonna be a goof-on-maniac before you know it, sister. Tell me some more.
Brother.
I want to be
I've been
scared.
a goof-on-maniac since I first heard you, brother.
Tessa does the best Hulk out of the men. Anybody, even better than Hulk. Who are we kidding? You do it better than himself. Seriously.
I wish you'd come on. That'd be awesome.
No.
Okay, so going back to the astral thing,
No.
like I accidentally did it that first time, and that resulted in sleep paralysis. The second time, which was just this last year, and it's always been accidental. I've never intentionally left my body because things have been after me for so long. I'm afraid if I leave my body, something's going to jump in while I'm gone,
What do you
so
mean
I don't
jump
want to
in?
do that.
What do you mean jump in? Yeah. Jump into your mind, your soul?
Jump into my body. They want my body.
They couldn't fit. They're too tiny. They fall right out the butt. Like a poop.
Like a poop.
I want it.
Too much protein.
It's protein can sticky too. It's disgusting.
You got to have your fibers.
You got your fiber, but don't eat those bars. They're like tar. The protein bars.
What you talking about, brother? You gotta always take your vitamins, your protein, and say your prayers, sister.
Hey, so I hope Dave's listening. Dave's got to be listening, laughing. Yeah, because I didn't think we were gonna do that. Now I'm glad we did. I feel much better. I don't know.
Much lighter now.
Yes. No.
Kind of happy for a little while.
Right. But this astral thing, people say, because we're gonna get into it here soon, in a few minutes. People think they can talk to aliens billions of light years away. I mean,
well, because with this thing, I don't know if it was demonic or alien, because I was able to telepathically communicate with it. So that was strange. But this last year, when I had my second out-of-body experience, I'm house sitting for my friend Glow, which was one of the original people in Four Corners Paranormal Investigations. I'm dog sitting her 2 Doberman pinchers, and she's expecting me to come in without meeting them. I'm like, can I please come meet your dogs before I go to try to babysit them, and they fucking eat me alive, and then you come back to find me eaten alive, I'm sorry, I just said the F word. But I met them at first, and then came back and was house sitting, and she had all the awesome channels. What is it called? American Channel. All these other channels that have these paranormal shows. And so I'm sitting there one night, and I'm drinking wine, and I'm watching these paranormal shows, and I'm not tired at all, but all of a sudden I just kind of blink out, and then I'm like on the floor on all fours, and I'm trying to crawl around, and I'm falling to the right, and I'm falling to the left, and I'm trying to get my wits about me, and I'm like, what the heck is going on? I haven't even had that much to drink. Why am I falling all over the place? And I turn around, and I see my body on the couch, and I'm like, okay, did I just die? Because right before that happened, I was having chest pains. So I crawl, like, back and forth, like, falling, trying to control my body, crawling back and forth, falling on the floor, and I finally get back up onto the couch, and I crawl back into my body, and I lay into it, and then I sit up, and I'm like looking around, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that was the weirdest thing that ever happened. Right before that, there was a paranormal experience. The trailer, it was kind of like a fifth wheel, rocked back and forth, and she said I could sleep in her bed, but she had like mirrors on the walls, and I don't like mirrors around my bed because I feel like some paranormal weirdness. And so I just left that door closed. Well, I left it open for the dogs if they wanted to go in there, but the dogs were in there with me, and it shook back and forth like something jumped on there. And then all of a sudden there's a scratch, and the wallpaper was kind of like a corduroy. And I look up, the keys had flown off of the wall, and the fly swatter right next to it was swinging back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And it really freaked me out. And then I settled down, got back into my paranormal stuff on the TV, and that's when the out-of-body experience happened. And I thought I died because I could see my body on the couch. But I was able to crawl back into it, and then I sat up and I looked around. I was back in my body. I was okay. Both of these times that I left my body, I felt like I was really, really drunk, like to the point where I had to lean on things, and I was falling over and all this other stuff. Like I probably had like a 72-liter drink of alcohol or something. But I was able to get back in my body and reconnect. And I've never, like I said before, intentionally done it, but I've accidentally left my body twice in my life that I know. So that was kind of freaky for me. And yeah, I was just like, what the heck is happening? Yeah. And I know people that do it all the time, and I had people come in here and come into my house because I've had so many crazy paranormal experiences in this house and in my last house, and it seems like every house I move into is haunted, and maybe it's because I'm a magnet or my kids are magnets, but it's always haunted, and these things keep happening. So I had an astral team come in, they cleared it, I hung bells on all my doors. A couple doors the bells have broken off of, so I have to reconnect them, but otherwise things have seemed calmer since I had the astral team come through. So I do somewhat believe in the astral thing, but I'm not willing to do it myself. I don't want to leave my body. I'm scared.
When you do Spaced Out Weekends on Spaced Out Radio, you interview people every weekend, right? Saturday or Sunday?
Mm-hmm.
So have you interviewed anybody who can teach you how to astral plane? Have you interviewed anybody yet like that? Because maybe I need to talk to somebody before I start delving into it.
Yeah, I'm actually a part of a team, which I had to put it on hold because I'm doing this overnight security, and then I'm doing the weekend shows, and right. I only have 2 days off where I can recoup on my sleep, and I feel too compromised to be able to do what I need to do for these people. So I'm like, give me a break until about April or May when I get off, and then I'll come back full-fledged, and I'll be able to help you guys with the aftercare. But there are astral people in there that can do it, and I can hook you up with that if you want to talk to somebody that can teach you how to do it.
Is there anyone out there who's well known into this?
Yeah, I know. There's Bonnie and her sister, and they're really, really good at what they do, and they did really help my house as far as what was in here, attacking us, attacking our pets, to the point of lifting one of our dogs to the roof and dropping it, shoving one of the dogs into a cabinet space where it was shoved into the bottom area. And this dog is 17 years old and really arthritic. She cannot get into a space like this. She was shoved into it. And then the very last straw was when they put her into the toilet. And she can barely even get up the 2-inch steps we have outside. One side is like 2-inch steps. The other side is like 6-inch steps.
Wait, I'm lost. Who put the dog in the toilet in the ceiling?
They said it was a wraith.
What's that? A rake? Or a wraith? Are they the same?
A rake and a wraith are two different things. A rake is like kind of a backwards human with its head like facing the right way. Wraith is like the black robe thing, kind of like the Reaper, but
How do you spell it?
Wraith.
Oh, wraith. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. I wish
I know. I was like, what is it and what does it want? You know, but it just wants contention and chaos and to feed off of this energy. And for some reason, it wanted to kill my dog. Like, she's been my support system for the last 17 years. Like, anytime I'm sad and sit down by the stairs by her, and she sits on the stairs like a human. Like, she sits her butt next to mine and puts her paws, like, a couple steps lower, and she'll sit and look at me and communicate with me and be like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "I'm okay, Gilly. Thanks for being there for me." But it totally shoved her into the toilet, which is about 12 inches off the floor. And it shoved her front portion into the toilet. And Nova heard this thrashing around in the bathroom. So she goes to investigate, and she sees my dog stuck in the toilet. She's trying and trying and trying. And Nova is like 6 foot, whatever at this point. She's taking after my grandma, Nova. And she's really big. She's like, so huge, brother. And she's like trying to pull this dog out, and she can't. And she's screaming and screaming and screaming. You flick on a light switch, you do something down the hall, I hear it. But whatever it was didn't want me to hear anything. She even came into my room screaming. I didn't hear anything. She finally got Joe, which is another 14-year-old, to come in and help her. So 2 14-year-olds pulling on this boxer Akita pit. She used to be pretty big in her prime, but she's just like kind of withering away to nothing in her old age, and they can't get her out of the toilet. And they said the more they pulled, the more it felt like something was shoving her in the toilet trying to kill her. And eventually it released, and they kind of flung her across the bathroom, and let you know she was okay after that. But this thing, whatever it was trying to kill her.
What do you think about these things that are all over? It seems like they're all over the planet. And do you think they've always been here? Or were they expelled from heaven, as we've heard? Or where do you think this all comes from? Or is it just folklore? I mean, it can't be if you see stuff like that happening, but it's hard, man. It's hard to believe these great stories without proof, but they do happen. Where do you think they all come from?
I think before it was very few and far between, so it did seem like folklore. But I think in these days, even with our kids being born, they're all gifted. Like, there's more and more gifts of people coming out. More and more people are spirited or gifted.
No, what I mean is
paranormal things are happening, and so it's more relevant these days. It's like people are saying the veil is thinning. I don't know if that's accurate or not, but it does seem like more and more paranormal things are happening.
Well, I'm not too sure, because there's as many cameras as there are people now. So that to me, could mean anything. But with more cameras, we see more evidence. So there's always that 2 to 5% we can't explain. But what I wanted you to answer is, do you think these are demonic from ancient times, or are they gods? Are these gods coming up in other forms, waiting to take their true form? I mean, what is it that's going on? This goes back thousands of years.
Right.
So what is it?
I don't know what you think about, like, mythology. Yeah. I believe in mythology, and I think it's not mythology. I think it was truth in a certain part of time, but to us, it's become mythology, some sort of myth. But there are more things popping up more and more and showing themselves, and people are realizing that this stuff is true. And in the paranormal field with Four Corners Paranormal Investigations, our job intake is becoming more and more increasing. Like I was saying, we used to have time to just fiddle around and do what we like. Let's go to this park and hunt, or let's go over here to this cemetery and hunt and do other things. And now we don't even have time for that as far as just having fun. There's so many people out there that do need legitimate help, and it can be demonic. It can just be spiritual. Maybe it's gods rearing their heads because there's just one God now, supposedly. It's really hard to really put your finger on it, because fact is stranger than fiction.
So where do you think they come from? Do you think they come from other planets? Do you think that they just... How do they create themselves? That's what I want to know. Where do they manifest from? What do you think? Did I lose you?
No, I'm just listening.
I know. I thought I lost you because I saw something on the screen. What is going on?
Somebody
man?
saw an orb flying over my head a couple times, which I haven't had happen in a while. But
no, that
I don't
see
know.
that is something having to do with the lighting. It keeps happening above your right shoulder.
I just have one lamp in here.
And what side is it on? Your right or your left?
It's my left.
Well, we'll have to keep looking. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Man. Yeah, cool. Oh, wait. That's weird, man.
Oh,
yeah.
I just saw one go up this way.
Yeah, I did too. I don't know if we're seeing the same time, but yeah, it's weird. Oh, yeah, you just pointed. You're a little bit behind. Yeah, you must have seen it too.
Yeah,
Tessa,
I saw it.
you may have something going on over there. That's kind of wild, man.
My house is very haunted.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh my God, no doubt. Okay. So we may be seeing actual activity at your place. That's crazy. This is so cool because I actually saw it. And I saw a little tiny orb. It went like around where the right, where if you did the Pledge of Allegiance where you put your hand, that's where I saw it.
Right here.
And then it went to your right side. And it went up, hovered above your shoulder, and then went down. And went back down to just underneath your shoulder, like right in front of you, like maybe 6 inches in front of you. And then it took off in front. It went away from you like 3D, like it got bigger as it got closer to us. It was very cool. And I thought it was a light anomaly, and it's not because I saw it again.
Yeah, it's really odd because this room is really small. It's probably like 4 feet by 6 feet. Which I have it blocked off with a blanket, like you were saying we're going to put behind you to kind of block the sound. I have one in front of me to block the sound. So it's more like a 4x4 area for me. And I have no circulation in here at the moment. So that's pretty cool.
That's very cool, man. Who do you look up to in the field? Is there anybody you follow a lot that you listen to, or you're not really listening lately? I mean... Who's your idol?
It's been really hard lately since I started this security job. I'm really down to like downloading things and being able to watch or listen to things and not use my data because I'm a data Nazi. I like to save my data for Facebook Live or whatnot in case I need to go on a hunt or whatever. But Nikola Tesla, I love to death. He was so amazing, and he is one of my heroes. And I feel so bad for him as far as how his character and everything was just diminished and murdered.
The worst.
Yeah. Yeah, he had so many cases full of information, and then he was left with 3, and they took the rest of it, and now they're making money off of this still. Like, give me a break.
I'm gonna get a break. There's breaks all over the time, but not here, not tonight. We're not taking any breaks. Here, I get to the chopper. I don't know.
That's right, brother.
Let me tell you something, sister, brother.
Nothing. All right, so we've been talking about a lot of stuff that pretty much are your experiences, and we just found out who you look up to, Tesla.
And we haven't even got onto our UFO stuff.
Well, we're about to. But I wanted to. I want to know. No, I mean, like with me, I like Grant Cameron, even though I think he's gone off the woo.
I got
like
to meet him. He was amazing.
Really? Where?
I went to
the thing. Yeah.
At the UFO conference in San Francisco, and I didn't get to watch him speak because I was watching the table for Dave. And, I want to support Dave any way I can because I believe in what he's doing and the message he's trying to spread. And, the family that he's given to me. So I'm watching the table for him. Grant Cameron and all these other people are speaking, and I'm making sure people aren't stealing posters and T-shirts and whatnot. And but then we're all up in the room. It's me and Go-Go Teresa and what is her name? Tammy or Tamra? The chick that made her own tarot cards. God, I'm so bad with names.
Tammy K Cosmetics?
No.
I don't know, but Tammy, whatever her name. Oh, Tammy Faye Baker?
No, not the lady with the big long eyelashes.
Yeah, from the 80s.
No, the cute chick with the red hair and the button nose, and she's been on the show for Dave a few times. I've asked her on my show, and she just ignores me. But she's made her own tarot card. She does the UFO thing with the night vision binoculars.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I can't remember her name. But anyway, so
I'm
you
so
were
bad with
watching.
names.
Yep.
But we're all up there, and we're having beers, and we're talking, and there's this on the door, and I'm like, oh, let me get it. And I answered, and it was Grant Cameron, and his tie's like kind of sideways. And he comes in, and we got to visit with him for a while, and I took a selfie with him, and we're not the best as far as our appearance should be. But he was an amazing individual, and all the things that I got to hear him talk about was freaking amazing, brother.
You know what? No, he is amazing. And even though I'm confused about these changes he's made, you know, what Dave told me, he heard that Grant Cameron, you know, he knows things. So he may be onto something, you know, with this astral thing. But with this show, have you ever done any other type of broadcasting or acting or even in a school play when you were young? Even recently, even before this, have you done anything like this?
Okay, so when I was in junior high school, I actually did some radio broadcasting stuff. And then in junior high school as well, I got to be in Greece. And that was fun.
You played, let me guess, don't tell me. Roselli, is that her name?
No, I didn't get to play anybody but a background and you know, background singers. But it was still awesome to see everything happening and everything going forward. And and I did learn a lot from it. And I really loved radio broadcasting. At first, I was like, you know, how I have always been from the get-go, feeling different from everybody else, like in my shell. And that's why when Dave asked me to do this radio show, I was like, let me think about it, because I've always been an introvert and social anxiety and all these other things. But I really love my SOR family, and I love the people that come in here, and they're looking for answers, and they're looking for more, just like I am. And there's so many things that I've learned from listening to Dave and the guests and everything, and it's been an epic experience sure.
What did you learn about yourself doing this show? Because people think it's easy to do these podcasts, do live shows. People that I can just get up there and talk, and it's easy. It's not. But what is the one thing you learned about yourself that you never thought you would ever see, or something you learned about yourself? How about that? What's the one thing you learned about yourself?
You just kind of got to like shed your skin and not worry about all your worries. You got to set that stuff aside and just
Were you always worried about that? Were you very self-conscious? Is that why?
I always have been. I've always been socially awkward from day one in school and such.
Right.
I've always had social anxiety, and it kind of went away for a while after the Marine Corps, but then I had terrible things happen to me because of things that other people have done to me that have set me back into my shell back before I was able to come out of it. And so it's just, let me realize that it's bigger than me, and it's not just about me, it's about us, and it's about sharing the information and spreading the word. And no, I don't believe in everything that's coming out that's in the show, but I do learn a lot from everything, and there's little tidbits that I take from it. Don't believe in everything you hear. Just take it by your own interpretation and what your soul believes, and take what your soul believes and your gut believes and take that into account and let the rest of it go.
I want to know about what, I mean, that's awesome. And yes, I mean, that pretty much goes without saying. I want to know for you, what are you learning about yourself that you can get up and talk in front of thousands of people, or you're better now at thinking on your feet, or, I mean, what is it? I mean, what's the thing you're taking away from it other than learning what other people are teaching you? What have you learned about yourself?
I've learned that we are our own worst critics. What I think about myself doesn't really matter, because I've had so many people tell me how soothing my voice is and how they appreciate what I'm saying and all these other things.
That's not what I want.
No, that's not it.
I see, like, if you were to ask me that question, I would say I can talk shit with the best of them. or I'm actually smarter than most people, or say
you are the shizonism.
Or I learned that I'm very patient. Those type of things that I learned. I don't have to swear. I learned that I can actually have a conversation without stuttering. I didn't think I could ever do that live. That's the kind of answer I want.
That was a big thing for me. I was really worried about my swearing because even as a child,
no kidding.
My dad said that I cussed like a sailor because he caught me like cussing at these neighborhood kids and Tessa, Nicole, Thomas, and I was like, oh. But yeah, for me that was my biggest fear, is cussing on air, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna do it, and I've gone so long without doing it, and I'm so proud of myself for not using that language that I'm so used to, that sailor language or whatnot. The place that you're more comfortable with, and they say that cussing is kind of like, a form of higher intelligence or whatever. Like for some people it's like, wow, this person's really ignorant for their cussing, but
right, that's stupid.
I was really afraid of doing that and letting Dave down, and how I was able to do it. And it was a fear for me, like, I'm going to do it before I'd go on. I'm going to cuss. Don't do it. But I wouldn't do it. And so it's been really, really good. But I've been able to come out of my shell because to me, what means more to me is sharing the message, Yeah. I'd rather kind of stay in my shell and kind of in the shadows and in the background and doing my own thing. But being able to share this message with everybody, and it really brings me out of my shell, which is uncomfortable to me, but being on the show, it makes me feel more comfortable because I am surrounded by people that I love and care about, and it makes me feel comfortable, and I really, really am comfortable with it. So I've learned that I shouldn't be afraid. There's really nothing to be afraid of, and I'm really happy that I did accept this. Like, it took me a day to think about it, and I'm like, okay, quit being a wuss. You can do it. Quit being a pussy. Come on, you can do it. And, I go through these breathing processes, and I'm telling my guests, okay, you're going to hear me breathing deeply, and it's going to be okay. But, okay, just wait a minute. I'll go through my intro, and then once I get through my intro, generally it tapers down. And so I learned a lot about myself doing this, as far as I'm not stuck in this shell that I thought I was. I can come out and I can share the word with everyone, and I don't know. It's been a learning process for sure, and I've learned not only a lot about the broadcasting stuff, but a lot about myself and what I can do and what I can accomplish, and adapting and overcoming, and it's been a really, really big learning process for me. And I'm still not sure if that's what you want to hear. No,
actually, that was phenomenal. That was the perfect answer. I didn't expect it. Yep. Third time was a charm.
It generally is.
No, seriously, that was a beautiful answer. So, Tessa, she sent me, I don't know, maybe like 1,400 pics of these objects in the sky.
And I actually uploaded it to an album on my page, and it should be out there today too, if you want to look under Tessa Nicole Thomas-Peterson.
Very cool.
You can find it.
So yeah. I'm taking the camera off both of us. So I'm putting it just on the TV, on the monitor, for people to look at these pics. Is that okay with you?
Yeah.
Okay, so
that way you can see what we're talking about.
Now, I saw a lot. Actually, I looked at every one. It was a lot. But I want to hear what you have to say first, because there's a big story with this. Of course, there's no video. I love video. Yes, a picture is worth 1,000 words, but video's worth 1,000,000. And you just can't compare the two, because your story can be something that, if there was video, we could corroborate and say, my God, they were hovering. They were getting in a group of 4 hovering over a cloud. They did change color. That beam of light was something that shot out of the sky. Without video, we have these pictures. So for me, it puts me on the fence. So I did not want to hear the story until tonight. So I get a first time, a real good listen on what happened when you took these pictures. So I want to go to picture number 1343. Okay. So I'm going to open it up, and then after this, you tell me about this picture. I want you to pick up the next picture. So what we're looking at here, we see the moon. Above the moon at about 12:30, maybe 1 o'clock, we see a bluish greenish type of dot. And then about 6:30, not 7, but 6:30ish, we see a red object. And then there's a couple of clouds. Looks like a very beautiful, scary picture. Like on a haunted mansion or something. It's beautiful.
Ow.
Tell me what we're looking at now. And I want to know, did they move in? Did they just appear? Did you see them and start taking pictures? What are we looking at?
Okay, so we're talking about 1343, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm pulling it up right quick. Waiting for it to load. Yeah, the one that I really liked was the meeting on the clouds, which was 9550.
Wait.
Indigenous 3.
Wait. Let's talk about this first.
I'm waiting for it to load.
Yeah, don't give away the other ones yet. Don't give it away. Unless you have it up and ready, we'll go there then.
No, I'm waiting, and it's just showing me a black screen. But I can hold on. What the heck is going on?
That's all right.
Here?
No rush. See what you got. Are the pictures in Google Drive, Tessa?
Okay, now I see it.
Are they in Google Drive?
They're on my file, and they're also in Google Drive.
Yes, they are in Google Drive chat room. Nathan, thank you.
Yes.
The moon. Oh, you don't know about that. We're looking at the moon. All right, go ahead.
I see the green one above the moon, the red one below the moon.
And then there's another red one in between the moon and the green-blue one. It's a cool picture.
Yeah.
I want to know, what do you think these are? Oh, what happened when you took? Were they just standing there, floating, or were they moving?
Well, to me, a lot of times I don't even see these, I don't know if you call them figures or apparitions or whatnot, until I zoom in after taking the pictures, and I'm like, what the heck is this? Because my vision is not quite right. I've actually lost my glasses. But to see these and see the streak like a jet stream where the red one is right next to it. Yeah, chemtrail. And then you see the one above, and then you see the one in the middle. Like, had it been just a glare off of the moon, you could see it off to where it should be, but it's not. And so that was what was intriguing to me. And I showed this to my friend Kat, and she's like, well, maybe it's something wrong with your camera. I'm like, this is a $1,700 camera, sister. Listen to me, sister. So this should not be happening. So it was really intriguing to me. And a lot of times before they come full form, from what I've noticed in my pictures, they'll show up as spots. And right before they leave, they show up as spots because they're just, diminishing to this certain capacity, and then they leave.
Well, why are you taking the pictures anyway if you can't see them?
Because, like I said, after my mom passed, I used to wish on the star, and I've always been, since the age of 5, almost 6 years old, obsessed with the sky. I'd wish on a star every night. I'd wish for my mom to be back. I'd look at the sunrises and sunsets and think my mom painted it, and the moon is just so enthralling to me. There's such a mystery and something about it, and the man in the moon, and even as a child, I used to, I even see another one here, a blue one up on the top portion of this jet stream.
Yeah, there's like 5.
Yeah, they're all around.
There's bottom right. There's one in the bottom right. There's several. So you didn't know these were even there. You were just taking a picture of the beautiful moon, the sky, pretty much, right?
Yeah, and then I'd go back and look at my pictures time and time again to zoom in, see what was right, see what was wrong with it, and then I'd be like, what the hell is going on in these pictures? And then at one point I was just like totally mind blown, like, oh my gosh, I just captured UFOs.
Go to 1391 now.
Okay.
So as you're pulling that up, at 6 o'clock beneath the moon, there's looks like a white dot. At 11 p.m., there's a single one. At 1:30, there's two, kind of one on top of the other, just bluish. And right at 3:15 and 5 o'clock, there are three forming a triangle. Okay, so do you see exactly the same thing? Did your pic pull up?
Yes. The one on the bottom is brightest.
Yeah.
You go up above, it's a little dimmer, and the one over here to the right is the dimmest. But yeah, you see like some sort of triangle formation around the moon. And they look like little specks, but it's really intriguing.
Well, there's some good picks coming up. I mean, these are interesting. Let's say that. I was to the conclusion looking at these until I reached this pick, because there's a lot of specs. Now, this is a $1,700 camera. What brand?
Nikon.
Okay, great camera. What year?
Oh.
When did you take the pics? Let's say that.
Shoot. Let me look.
It's a Nikon 900. I'm Richie from Boston. That's all I use. It's my new
Let
guy.
me tell you what. Ooh. Once I zoomed in, I saw more spots above the one on... Ooh. The one on the right, there's one right above it, one right above that, and one to the left.
There's so many.
So another kind of triangle there.
Do you still have the camera?
I do, and that's the one when I had my possession, actually broke, so I'm ordering a new lens for it. But it's a really, really good camera, and it's never let me down. It's a really good camera. I've actually bought two of them. One I pawned and lost in pawn, and then I had to get another one because it was just so epic.
Did you see these moving? I mean, are there any pictures in succession that we can see movement?
These ones, I actually saw the specks around the moon, and so I was taking pictures of it. The ones where it's the electric blue moon, I was just like, wow, I've never seen this with a moon before. So I was taking pictures, and that's when I picked up the different shuttlecraft. These I could see the specks around the moon, and I was like, I got to get a picture of this because these aren't stars. This is something different. So yeah,
well,
I remember doing these.
That was my next thing. I would ask you, but I don't think you know the answer. What setting was your camera on? Was it on infinity? You know, I mean, there's so many different questions right there. I don't think you would remember that.
I'm pretty sure I had this on auto, and
because
would it not focus? I just like retap. But yeah, I'm with film cameras. You have to have your settings just right to get certain pictures. But with auto, you can take and get certain pictures, and it'll finally focus into what you want it to. It might take several times. It might be the first time, but with the digital era, is just like on auto, you can actually get these things going, and if you have a steady hand, you can get what you want. And the cool thing about this night is the moon was actually flaring. I don't know if you noticed that, but it would be a certain brightness, and then it would just flare out, and then it'd be back to dim brightness, and then flare out, and then dim brightness, and flare out again.
Yeah, I've never seen the moon do
pretty interesting.
That.
Yeah, me neither. I was enthralled.
So let's go to another picture. Let me pull one up here because I got something interesting to show these people. Because I don't know exactly what this could be. Hold on, let me figure out. Here we go. I'm going to go, let me see if I'm going to skip over something real quick. Okay, well, I want you to look at this next one if you can. 1395, because there's a conglomeration over here of like 10 of them. I mean, it's ridiculous.
I know, they're just like converging on it.
And
if these were stars, they wouldn't move towards the moon or anything like they're doing. Like, it's just like they're amassing on it.
See, and then I was thinking, because I have never videotaped, and I've used a lot of cameras too. I've used probably 30 cameras, still and video cameras, over my investigating years, and I've never taken a picture like that and seen these dots. The only time I had something similar is when I went to California and there was not just sand, but like super small pieces of sand, because it was very windy, wound up getting on the lens. And I thought this one object wasn't moving, and then when I wiped the lens, it moved to another part of to another part, and I thought maybe I was seeing something move, and it was just a piece of sand. I mean, I don't know, man. I wasn't there, so I can't say it isn't, but I don't know what this is. If anybody in the chat room has any idea, please let me know, because I have no clue. I really don't. This 1395, you see it, right?
Yeah, and it was just moving around. Like, they'd be outwards and they're moving inwards. And
what do you mean?
It was just insane.
Like they were all going away from the moon and then all coming back to it?
Yeah, like before it was out like a wide triangle, and then there was a smaller one within the bigger triangle, and then they're just like kind of moving around the moon. And we've heard different stories about there being space stations or whatnot on the backside of the moon or whatever. You can't see them because they're on the backside, and you always see the man in the moon. But it made me wonder, is there actually a space station on there? Because look at all these spots. Like,
I know.
And they're not just on the outskirts, and they're not stars. Like, you see stars and you see them in certain positions, but these are moving, and they're moving inwards. And this is all on the same night. So it really doesn't make a lot of sense.
Hold on, I didn't see these attachments. I wonder why. Hold on a second. 1368. Oh, I have to go to another. Let me see if this will pull up. Yeah, go to 1368. Why take a picture of these chemtrails in the sky? I'm just curious when you pull it up.
Hold on.
I know, it's okay. And there's also, if people aren't familiar with watching the sky at night with the moon like this, even if a half moon, sometimes these clouds, they're like chemtrails, remnants of chemtrails, or the sky was sprayed, and then it creates these kind of rainbowish effect from the moon glare.
Mm-hmm.
So what's going on in this picture? You had to take it. Just everything?
Okay.
Hey.
I'm trying to pull it up.
Oh, okay.
My computer's being bad.
It's okay.
Okay, let me switch.
They're so cool. It's a pretty cool picture. It looks like you made a sandwich with the moon. It's like you have these two pieces of bread, and the moon's kind of in the middle. It looks like, I don't know. It's got teeth. These clouds have teeth. No, these are cool pictures. When you said you were going to send me these pictures, I was like, all right, whatever.
I almost didn't send these, and then I looked closer, and I was like, oh, yeah, I remember this. So, yeah, I had to.
I almost see kind of like a harp-esque type of cloud feature, these louver lines that are inside of these clouds. Hard to make out. I didn't do any colorization, saturation, or anything like that, but in these clouds, there's some, looks like, if you want to call it harp activity and be the total conspiracy nut, you can say that. This is strange. Did it open up yet?
Yeah, it is right now.
All right. So what do you see?
But yeah, I can see what you're talking about.
Right?
It looks like
At the top in that, above the moon, above the white cloud, these lines are horizontal in this cloud.
Mm-hmm.
Right above the moon.
Yeah, it looks like a rocket's falling or going another way around the Earth.
No, not the rocket.
But yeah.
Right above the moon, you see these lines in this cloud, the pinkish cloud.
Mm-hmm.
They're horizontal. And
there's dots in there too.
Right, there is a dot there, a dot in the trail. Yeah, they're all over. I'm thinking these dots aren't what we think they are, but I'm thinking it's dirt on the lens and it's a rare thing, but they are colorful, and that could happen because let's just say they're dirt. Right, dust. Dust can be very thin. It looks like even these could be changing color. If they were to change color, it's because of the light refracting off the inside of the housing of the camera. I don't know.
But if you look on the outside of the jet stream, there's a blue one.
Yeah.
You look on the inside of the cloud, there's this kind of, I don't know, whitish colored one. You look by the moon, there's a few more. And, every time I take my camera out to take pictures, Oh, even on the outskirts of the left side, there's a dot there, and they're not. Yeah, they're there. Like, I always clean my lens before I go out because I don't like any anomalies or anything like that, because I know how anomalies work. You have dust in the air. You have to make sure the area is very still before you take these pictures, and like you're saying, just the way the moon illuminates off of these clouds, it's like really, I don't know, cool and immaculate, and I really love what's going on with these. And when I first see craft in my pictures, they first show up as spots, and that's where I like to call the meeting on the cloud. But they're different colors. There's the green, there's the blue, there's the red, there's the whitish blue, there's the white.
What I like about this picture, and I just realized it a moment ago, to the left of the moon, pretty close in above the white cloud, it looks like there's two white ones stacked on top of each other. It looks like it could be a blur. But then you have the red one in the trail above the pinkish cloud that is perfect. It's not blurred. So then why is this one not blurred? Is it moving? Yes, it's probably moving. So
it's not too far from the blue one, the red one in the trail.
Right. Yeah.
And it makes me wonder why do they, I don't know, they kind of conglomerate around the trail sometimes. Sometimes they just kind of like to tuck around the clouds. And it's like, are they trying to camouflage? Do they think we're really that stupid? Some are just like trying to make their way wherever they're going.
But you have to understand,
really
5 miles away, it's not going to be hiding behind a cloud for someone else. So that doesn't make sense to me,
It looks different to everyone unless they know you're watching, unless they
that's a lot for
have
them
some
to do.
sort of thing going on.
All right, you were going to pick a pick. I forgot to do that. So you pick one now. Tell me where to go.
I like the 95503.
95503. Is that what you said?
Yeah, it's 9550, and it's in,
hold on.
It's a darker looking picture, and it used to have the moon in it, but I focused it in on this one. But it's in the apostrophes, like 3, 9550, and then you have the little hug around it, the 3.
Hold on, guys. I don't know what just happened. I was in my thing, and it took me out of it. How bizarre, man.
It's those dang Allens.
No, seriously. I don't know how that could have happened. It took me from one Gmail account to another one and then it logged me out where your pictures were. I don't know how that could even happen. I don't know how. All right, so let me pull this up here. I got to find it because I didn't expect to say, why don't you pick some, but I just thought I would be fair. Hold on one sec. Let me see where I'm at. I don't think it's in this page. Okay, so we're going to get out of there.
Yeah, this one's just my favorite because the way they're just kind of grouping on the cloud, and you can see three in the outskirts trying to make their way in, but there's 4 on the cloud, and you can see like the bluish white color, the red, the white, and then the blue color in the background on the cloud, and you see 3 in the background trying to make their way into the conference, which would make a perfect
Tessa,
circle.
Hold on, I'm not there yet.
I know, because your computer, those dang Allens.
It's those aliens, brother.
I know, but don't tell me about it yet until I get there. I don't even know if I've seen it yet. There's so many. Hold on a second.
And now you're like, why did you send me a billion, kajillion pictures? I'm like, there's so many.
Actually, that's a lie. I never say. I said, why don't you send me the pictures? And you send me every single one.
I know afterwards you're like, why'd you send me a kajillion pictures? And then you're like, just kidding.
I know.
I was like, yeah, there's so many. It's because I zoomed in in case you don't know what you're looking at, and then I gave you the full picture to see if you could see what I was seeing.
So 95503. Is that it?
Mm-hmm.
Pulling it up. Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay, this one's pretty cool. All right. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what that is. Hold on. Let me get everybody to see. This is bizarre. When I saw this, I'm like, okay, something's going on. This is bizarre. What the hell's going on, Tess?
I don't know. Isn't that weird and cool at the same time?
I know. Yeah. Yeah, they're on the cloud.
Yeah, they're like, I like to call it the conference in the cloud. And they're like having a meeting, even though they don't need to. I'm trying to show it to people on the page, but I got a reflection going on.
Now, there's those 4. When I first came upon the pictures, I'm like, okay, it looks like it's going to be balloons, right? And then I said, okay, it's stars. Then I said, no, maybe it's dirt. It's got to be dirt. No, why are they colorful? Why is this one blurry and this one isn't? You know, there's too many questions. This is strange.
Yeah, the ones coming in look kind of blurry, probably because they're moving. Yeah. But the ones on the cloud seem fine. And that's what intrigued me. I'm just like, wow. And, you know, it was a full picture with the moon on the outskirts and whatever. But I was like, what are they doing over there? And why are they even hovering together? Like, they have communications where they can communicate with each other, but I guess you have to have this meeting.
No, you see, now you're jumping to conclusions. It's what a lot of people do.
I know, right?
You can't know what they're doing. I'm trying to figure it out. No, they may not be having a meeting. They may just be looking at each other. They may not be saying anything. There may be nobody in there. See, that's what's funny. People are like, nope, they're talking about how they're going to abduct Johnny. And, no, nobody knows. Okay, so look. Then I was looking at this a little further. And I went through some of my pictures that I took when I used to use digital. And I have to show it to you. I can't because it's on the camera and I have to get a certain adapter to plug it into the computer and upload it. Yeah. But I'll get it to you because it's old. But I have similar stuff. Not exactly, but these little bluish, greenish things, and they were balloons. And it was at night.
And these were before the other ones that I sent to you where they're tucked in against the clouds, and you look at them and they look like squiggly lines. But when you zoom into them, you can see that it's the moon coming off the outskirt of the shuttle, and then you can see the boosters and the light coming off the boosters, and then you can see the shadow on the back part, and you can actually make out the full form of the craft, and that's what really blew my mind. I was like, holy shnikes.
Yeah, I don't see a full form of the craft. Now, I'm looking at this one in the center, these blue ones, and this is something I'm going to have to do a little bit of creativity with, because this one that I'm looking at has a duplicate underneath it, and it looks
it's like they're flying together.
Right, but the odds of that happening,
one's right in front of the other.
They look identical. It looks like it's a duplication of some sort, and I don't know how.
Yeah, but when you look at the other photos where they're tucked in along different parts of sorry, hold on a second.
It's all right, I can barely hear them. Don't worry about it. I don't know, guys. Anybody have any ideas on what this could be? I mean, nobody's answering. Nobody wants to say anything.
When I shared these, this is like the second or third one in. First one, you see the lasers coming down. Second one, you see the clouds.
Wait a second. Hold on. What are you talking about? What number is this?
0008.
You're just going off talking like it's your show.
Well, when I shared it on Facebook, this is the order they came in at. So,
No. You got to tell me where to go before you start talking about it. I want to follow it. I got an audience here of 2,000 people. Now, hold on. Now, you said it was what number?
0008.
Oh, brother.
Right? We're bouncing around now. I found this one after I sent you the other ones, and I was like, wow, because they had the red lasers coming down. This one's a yellow and blue.
I don't see any 900 or 00 anything anywhere. I never have.
What? I sent it to you. It was by itself. I was like, oh, here's another one.
Oh, okay. Oh, damn it. I'm a dick. God dang it.
It's in your Gmail. Come on. Get your coffee.
I'm already there. It's just...
We'll talk about
working the cameras and then pulling up 10 different things, and I screwed up again. Hold on.
No worries. It's all good. It's coffee talk. Take your time. Drink your coffee. Sip it. Take a look.
So when I pull this up, hold on. This might be it. Let me see. Not the bio and pic. More pics of lasers. Okay. Here, 0008. All right, this is the one. Okay. Here we go, everybody. Okay, this, to me, is bizarre. Now, usually, when we see something like this from an airplane, we know what an airplane looks like. But if it was just the red and yellow, I would say, okay, that's got to be a craft. But what's the blue? So is this an airplane? No. There's wiggly line in here. I don't know what's going on.
I know it's not straight. It's just kind of arched, and then there's another one kind of conforming.
Hold on,
what the heck?
Let me show people.
Drink your coffee.
Up close.
Mull it over.
As far as I can
It's
go.
odd. And the yellow is more prominent than the blue. The blue seems thinner, but it's pretty epic.
The blue would be thinner.
And they're not the same direction.
What do you mean direction? Oh, no, they intersect, which is bizarre. So to me, it looks like two different craft.
And kind of bounce off of each other towards the bottom.
Yeah, in the middle bottom part. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's unique. But I don't know the camera, so I'd have to work with it and see how that can be formed. I would have to do major testing with that camera, and if I can't duplicate it, then it's that's the way you do real investigating. Is
I've took like trillions of pictures with this camera, and
never.
This is the second time this has happened. One night it happened like 3 times in a row, and went down to the left, to the right, with a reddish sort of color, and then I got this blue and yellow color. So it was really intriguing.
So these are, let me pull up now this one that I like, the laser beam, which I have no explanation for. And I've seen beams before. And I went back to your same email like a schmoho.
Yeah,
oh
it's
my God,
in the original.
I did it again the 3rd time in a row. I keep going back to it. What a dork. Here, I have it written down. 914, I believe. I'm in the wrong one. Okay.
Oh, 9614?
Nope.
Oh.
Nope. Hold on, sister.
All right, brother.
Hold on there. 98. Blop, blop. I don't want to ruin it yet until I get there. I think I found it. No.
Oh, in between the clouds one.
Nope.
No?
Oh, if you have one, but let me. Oh, here it is. Let me see if this is it. 9852. This is one of them. I don't understand why this would just show up out of nowhere and stop. It's like they're like rods. Like it's like it's like the red line.
And then the red dot to the left.
And the red dot to the left, but it's like that red and yellow we just looked at, but real tight and kind of not as clear. And there's also a yellow dot, like at 5 or 7 o'clock of that line.
And like you were saying, it was not like the other ones. The other ones were like dee 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 dee. This one is full fledged and in between one spot and the other, and it doesn't go through the full picture. It just goes from one point to another within kind of the middle of this picture.
So if you start
with the electric blue moon,
if you start
like, do you see that electric blue color? That's what attracted me to taking these pictures.
If you follow the line downward, there is a trail that comes out of it, like an exhaust. Now, that to me is telling me something.
See it now.
Yeah, it's telling me that this may be something man-made. And if it's not man-made, why would it just show up?
Well, maybe it might be the trail before the laser shoots through.
Right, we don't know.
Like the intent of energy, where the intent of energy is meant to go, but it hasn't gone yet.
Yeah. Good call. Exactly. It could be.
Oh, I see the yellow dot now that you're talking about.
Isn't this bizarre? Man, that's cool stuff. And I thought I was going to be able to say what it was. I don't know.
Me neither.
Nathan said he looked on Google Drive, but it's not showing up. Can't find the pics anywhere, he said.
If you go to my Facebook page, Tessa, Nicole, Thomas-Peterson, Thomas-Peterson, on Facebook.com, I just shared the album earlier. and you should be able to scroll through. And this one is of the moon. You see the electric blue color, and then you see a white color around it coming off the clouds, and then kind of an orangish yellow. But to the right, there's a laser coming down with a red dot to the left and like a yellowish dot down towards the bottom.
What do you think these are?
I think it's Allen's. I don't know.
Could be Allen's.
It doesn't make any sense to me because I have never seen anything like this in my life.
Yeah, I'm going to try to find out because I think I may have... I don't know. I don't know. I really don't. They're really tiny, but we don't know how far they are. But they look like they're underneath the clouds or around those clouds, which are probably 5,000 to 7,000 feet.
If you go to 9852, this one is the full picture of what's going on, and that makes it even more obscure as far as how large this laser shot is. Are they fighting each other like they did back in the day when you see these medieval pictures of aliens fighting each other and different things going on?
Oh, yeah, and the balls in the sky.
Yeah.
Oh, very cool. Wait, 9852, that's what we were just looking at. What are you talking about?
Well, this one's larger.
That's the one I was just talking about.
9852 parentheses
that's
2
the one I've had up the whole
is
time.
the Titan one. Oh, okay. So I was looking at the closer one, but this one's bigger. Yeah, so you're looking at 9852, the original. I was doing the zoomed in one.
And do you have a number for that?
9852'2.
No. All right. So,
or :2.
Hold on. I'm gonna find...
I see what you're talking about. I see it now.
Okay, cool.
On the YouTube Live.
Hold on. I'm gonna do some searching here because what do you really think these are? Aliens?
I really do because the same night I got those other pictures which look like kind of just like squiggly lines, but if you zoom in, you'll see that on one portion of it, it's just the light coming off of the moon on the side of the craft, and then you see the thrusters glowing, and on the back side you'll see like the one you're looking at now. If you can zoom in close to these little spots, you can see the full craft, and it actually looks like freaking little space shuttles. It's pretty interesting to me. And I was like, holy crap. Like, I couldn't believe it. And the weird thing to me is the way they're always put in the same order as far as which position they're facing. Forward, to the right, to the left, upwards, and there's more lasers. This one is more distributed.
Go to 9606, and that'll be the last one for tonight. Because we're gonna have to get on to the next portion of the show. This is crazy. Go to 9606. Nathan found the pictures, but there's no number references. He's just going to have to meander through them. But that's okay. He'll find enough in there to analyze, that's for sure. What are you seeing? You seeing 9606? This looks like
it's the lasers, but they're more distributed. Like, they're almost full, but there's still that break in between.
Well,
the shifts. You know what I mean?
To me, it looks like from the top it's really small, and then it gets bigger as it gets lower or to the bottom of the page. That would have to mean it's pointing towards you almost, and you know what I mean? Or it's going away from you. We don't know which way it's going. Somebody with their laser pistol.
I need sharks with freaking laser beams attached to their freaking heads.
Oh, I see. We don't get the whole picture. Oh, wait. See, at the bottom of this, it just...
But that's what I got. And it's funny because a lot of these things I didn't even see until I saw them in...
That's usually how it happens.
Going over my pictures, and then I took more and more and more and more and more, and I'm like, God. And I showed this to my mentor, and she's like, oh, well, it's probably something wrong with your camera. Well, why isn't it not in the rest of these pictures? And somebody was saying, oh, these pictures look like the Grateful Dead guy, right here, 9906. You see the Grateful Dead guy's face, and then around his face, you see 4 4, 5, like 6 craft. And if you zoom into them, can we go into this? Like, have you seen this?
I don't know what number.
9906.
All right, let me pull that up. Here we go.
Because you got to see these craft, and I'm not crazy. Like, look at this. This is not a thing off the clouds.
Where?
There's 3 on the top. You see these glowing... Okay, zoom in. 9906. You zoom in on top.
Yeah.
9906.
Yeah, I know,
you see
I'm on
3 on top.
I don't see 3 on top.
You go down. Okay.
I see 1 to the left.
Serious?
And then...
If you look on top of his head,
well, whose
you
head?
see 3 on top. The Grateful Dead guy.
What are you talking about? What Grateful Dead guy?
It's hard to see. Okay.
You mean the
kind of
cloud?
right,
The cloud?
Yeah.
With the pointed
kind
head?
of. Well, it's on the top to the left, but on the right-hand side, on the top, where those 3 glowing spots are in the vacancy of the clouds.
I don't.
Zoom in.
I am. I mean, how much more zoom can I get? I don't know. I'm looking at it.
Oh, God. Here. I gotta take my camera and take a picture of this.
Oh, wait. Let me go to your... Oh, wait. It's not on your screen, so are we able to see
Let me
it?
go turn around.
I see some things, but it's very weak in this picture.
These should be full pixelation for you because I sent them on Gmail.
They are full pixelation, but they're not brightly lit. They're very thin.
If you go up from the top of the clouds where it's lit up and it looks like hair spurts popping off, you see 3 craft.
But I don't see that.
Well,
that's the
okay,
whole
I'm
thing.
pointing right now.
9906 with the little 3 after it?
No, 9906 period.
Okay, so that's different.
Yes.
All right, thank God.
I know, you're like, I don't see it!
Okay, here's 9906 with the 2, so now I have to go with just a period.
9906 period, yeah, JPG. Okay, so there's the off spurt. You see the little craft right there.
I'll let you know when I get there. You gotta hold on to your horses. That's right, get mad. I'm gonna cut you off. Here it is.
Come on, brother.
Let me tell you something, sister.
Oh,
Let me tell you something, brother.
All right, here we go. Now, oh, I had the same one picked out. That's cool. I picked this out so we can talk about it. So you chose the same one I would have.
Oh yeah, it's a good one.
Oh yeah, yeah. I never zoomed in this much. Holy shit! What the hell's
Do you
going
see
on
it?
with these things? Oh my god!
Yeah, can you zoom in on those? And they look the same. They have the body. They have the shuttles on the side.
What?
Like, what the F is that?
This is bullshit. How could this
And
be?
you scroll down to the side. You see one's a little dimmer on the left.
Oh yeah.
And at the bottom, there's a dim one, and then there's a bright one. They all are in the same formation. They always are in the same formation. What the hell is going on? And why are they around the clouds? And like you're saying,
yeah.
we all
They
have
look like, it looks like Luke Skywalker's craft.
Yeah, it's like they're all in the same formation, but it looks different to everybody looking at the sky. Why are they looking at me?
And you know what I like about this one? There's the 3, right? There's 3 that are to the left and the middle bottom. You could see the moonlight lighting up the one to the far right, and then it gets dimmer as they're behind the cloud.
Yeah, and if you go up...
Shit, this is cool.
If you go up above the clouds on that same Grateful Dead guy formation, these guys are so freaking bright. Look at them. You can't even...
But do you understand what I'm saying about how they get dimmer? Because 2 are behind the clouds and the 3rd one isn't. That's 3D right there.
Yeah. Isn't that amazing?
That shows depth to the picture, to the objects. This is crazy.
I was thinking I was losing my mind, and I was like, you gotta see this, you know?
I don't know what to say, man. I'm going to have to do some real research on this. I got to see if
and
anybody
they're
else...
shaping
This crazy.
in different formations. A lot of them that I pointed out earlier, when I went to dinner with my kids, and my daughter's like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "I'm taking notes. Meeting in the clouds, laser from the clouds, spacecraft, laser from clouds, spacecraft." Some of them are facing upwards. You could see the profile of it. Some of are facing forward. Some are facing this way.
Yeah.
And each time facing a different way, they're all facing the same way. They're not just doing it individually, they're doing it in formation, just like the military would. But maybe this is our space, whatever they
it's
call it.
not our Space Force, but check it out. In that one video I like, it looks like the three craft, they're all moving, like they're all turning, but they're not all perfectly in alignment. It looks like the one in front started to turn and the other two are following it. So they all can't turn exactly at the same time, you know what I mean? So one is turned, the other one's not as turned, and the other one in the back is just starting to turn. That's independent movement. That's intelligent. And that's bizarre. This is like better than I could have ever thought. So maybe I don't know what I'm looking at right now. Maybe we're wrong, but...
Well, me neither. And even up here to the left, you see it's just kind of faded, so you don't notice it as much. But if you zoom in, you'll notice more. But yeah, up here, they're really, really bright on the right-hand upper side. And then on the lower-hand corner, you're saying how they're one's like really highlighted, the other two are in the background. Yeah. But yeah, it's like the 3D formation, and I did not do anything to enhance these photos. I just zoomed in or zoomed out, trying to say, this is what I'm seeing, you know? And yeah, it's really intriguing and interesting and mind-blowing to me. And before I caught this, I was just like, holy shnikes. But in 2012 is when I first saw my first UFO in my backyard. And it was kind of like the fireball I told you about when I was a kid. But this thing was like 4 foot in diameter or circumference, 3 or 4 foot off the ground at a slow walking pace through my backyard. And to me and my 2 daughters, it looked the same, like a fireball within a globe going in a clockwise motion. To my husband, it looked like a glowing bat, like flapping its wings really, really slow. How come it looked different to me and my 2 daughters than it did to him? And I think it's some sort of cloaking device. And some of us have more intricate details as far as our intuition or gifts or whatever it may be. Maybe we're part alien. I don't know. There's an anomaly in my DNA because I did a cancer DNA test, and they're like, oh, there's an anomaly in here, and we don't know what it is. I refuse to do a DNA test because I don't want to be on a list and, you know, get taken away like the Jews did and such. But I was wanting to do the DNA cancer test because when my mom was killed by a drunk driver, they did an autopsy on her. They found like 4 different kinds of cancer. My grandmother died from cancer, so I wanted to know if I was going to have cancer and try to do the preliminary thing for it. And they didn't find any cancerous stuff, but they found an anomaly, which they don't know what it is. So am I part alien? Are they trying to communicate with me and I don't know what they're saying, and I just happen to catch it on camera? I don't know what's happening. It's really mind-blowing.
Well, it is, man. It's a trip. I'm so happy that I got to look at these closer than I could before. I didn't really think about or have time at the time to look in and zoom in that much. But so not sure. I am going to say it's very cool. I have no idea what I'm looking at. And I didn't know. I thought I would know, but yeah, you know, when you have that many pictures and things happening that don't make sense when they should, you got something that's unexplained, and that's what you got.
I wish I could have got it on video, but it would have been like here and there and who knows, like in and out of focus and whatnot. But these pictures like tell it all. And I'm just like, holy shnikes.
Let me tell you what, brother.
Well, I can't do it, but my voice is gone. The thing is, I've seen this before, but not like this. This is something that's a little, I don't know. I just don't know what to say. It's unexplained. Now, I asked the chat room, guys, help me. What are these? Nobody's answering, so they don't know. Klingon ships.
It's freaking insane.
X-wings, Y-wings. Nobody knows. They're all saying the same thing. Nobody knows.
They look like the 1970s, like space shuttles you'd see in like
Star
Twilight
Trek.
Zone. When I was watching it the other night, and this spaceship wrecked into this planet, and he got out and he could breathe, and he found this woman and whatever. The spacecraft looked the same. Like, you have the shuttles on the bottom, you have the cylinder on the top, and this way you could see the cylinder and you could see the two shuttles. But when it faces upwards or to the right or to the left, it kind of looks different. But here you can see the shuttles on the side and the cylinder. It's just insane and mind-blowing to me. I'm just like, I can't believe I captured these photos. And to me, it is mind-blowing. It's more than anything I could have ever imagined to capture.
It's a good catch, sister.
Thanks,
we're going to have to...
You're welcome, sister.
We're going to have to come back and talk to you again, because I'm going to do a little research, see what I can find this weekend, because, I don't have to work Friday, Saturday, or Saturday, Sunday, and most of Friday. So I'm going to spend some time. That's great. And I'm going to find out, if I can find out, I'm going to send these to people or have them look at the show. But Tessa, this was great. I'm so happy you finally made it here. I'm glad that I asked you to come on. I'm sorry it took so long, but you're real awesome, and there's not a lot of people like you. I'm not just saying that. I think you're very interesting, and I think you're onto something with these UFO pics. So don't get involved in my business, sister.
You're amazing, Richard. Richard G.
You stay away from ufology, sister. You stay in the astral rejection team.
Come on, Richard G. I don't even like the freaking astral. Hulk and astral don't even mix, Richard G. I got one 24-inch python, this other 24-inch python. These don't even mix with the freaking astral.
I'm not into astral. Astral scares me. If I leave my body, I'm afraid something else is coming through. But I did actually capture these pictures, and I'm really excited I did. And ever since I first heard you, Richie G, I've always wanted to be on your show. You always make me smile, and you always make me laugh, and you always make my day better. And I'm so grateful for you and what you do, and I love you. And I'm so glad that I finally got to come on your show, because since the very day one, I wanted to be on your show, and I'm so grateful that I'm here today.
Thank you so much. Yeah, this was great. It just seems like I'm talking to somebody I know for a long time. Well, we know each other a little bit, but you know what I mean. So
I do.
Tell everybody, most people know, but where do we find Tessa, Nicole, Thomas-Peterson? Why do you have 4 names? What's up with that? Why can't we just call you Tessa?
Thomas. And I know Petersons, and I didn't want to take on the Peterson name. And I know my brother, and he's the one that was basically abducted or taken by the gremlins, a.k.a. Kentucky Cobalt. So I wanted to carry on my father's name, so I wanted to be Tessa Nicole Thomas / Peterson, because I want the Thomas name to live on. And it does with his kids, even though he hasn't been in their life. But you can find me on Spacedoutradio.com on the weekends.
Whether you like it or not, brother.
What time, sister?
9 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Mountain, 11 p.m. Central, 12 a.m. Eastern Time, brother.
That's a lot of zones, sister. You sure you got the gusto to keep going?
We got 3 p.m. Australian time and 5 a.m. UK time, brother.
I don't even know what to say. That was funny. I didn't expect you to have an answer.
Everything.
You did. Well, thanks again. Are you gonna hang out? Or are you gonna take off now?
Oh heck yeah, I'll hang out.
Okay, because I have to take a break, so we're gonna take a
Me
5
too.
to well, let's take 6 minutes or 5 to 7. So I'm gonna take you off camera here for now, and me too, and we're going to take a short break. Hold on, let me put this over here. Let me close that out so I don't confuse that with that. That was fun, man. That went by so quick.
Heck yeah. I know, it wasn't even as long as I felt like it was going to be.
But
I didn't think it was going to feel long and drawn out, because with you it always flies by, but yeah.
All the girls say that, sister.
I gotta go to the bathroom, brother.
I'm known as a 30-second wonder.
Oh yeah!
All right.
Coming out, brother.
Go ahead and come back in a few minutes. But when you come back, make sure you're muted till I come back.
I will.
All right, thanks.
Unless you call upon me.
Well, I will.
Alrighty.
I'll talk to you soon. Thanks for being on.
Thanks. I'll go get some coffee.
Go get some coffee, you bastard. I forgot about that.
Coffee talk.
Talk
about UFOs. Discuss.
So thanks, Tessa. So for everybody, we're going to take a break. But while I'm taking a break, I'm going to play Mr. MBB333 because we're going to talk about this when I get back. Now, I've watched this video. It is freaking awesome. So we're just going to watch for 5 minutes. And when I come back, I'll interject what I think. So enjoy. We're not taking a break. I'm just gonna disappear for a few minutes, but watch this video so the show's still going. You see what I'm doing? I'm not going on break. I'm just showing you something. Then I'll come back. Here you go.
Thursday,
Forget about
January 3rd, 4 p.m. Mountain
I love
Time,
all you guys out there. All right, here we
guys,
go.
In this video, we're going to start out back over in California. We're going to take a second look at this mysterious light that was seen above the sky on December, I think it was the 19th.
He's got his volume so low.
Pictures of
God,
this phenomenon
you got to turn it up to listen to this schmoho.
But there was something unusual that occurred the day before I want to share with you guys that was also shared with me by a few different people. And it was not of any meteor, according to the people that saw this thing. I've also got some incredible video footage out of Portland, Oregon, of what appears to be some sort of a triangle-shaped craft. We've been seeing a lot of those lately, all around the world from various places. And I've also got some incredible sunset images that do not even look like they're from planet Earth. We're going to get to those at the end of this video. But first, this incident, this is being reported here at ABC News 7 out of San Francisco on December 20th, which was a Thursday. I think this occurred on December the 19th, this mysterious light that was seen in the sky. Just after 5:30 p.m. It was being reported on the 20th. And I received many pictures and video of this phenomenon from different people in the California area. But on the day before, something occurred that was not being talked about. This is a still image of the event that was being reported as a meteor above Davis, California. This was sent in by Victor. And this is, you can see the smoke trail, very illuminated as it began, started to make that loop like you see here in this photograph. I have the exact same photograph that was sent in by Advances from Twitter. And it had that unusual loop, the very bright spot at the very beginning of the smoke trail. Same thing here, sent in by Victor, and that's when it first occurred. But the day before, something mysterious was observed in the skies from Monterey, California. This photograph was sent in by Renee, and she noticed these big, huge circles in the sky. Keep in mind, this is about 24 hours before the meteor was spotted in the sky in the same exact area. But now we've got these mysterious circles. Here I've taken the same photograph and converted it into a negative format, and you can see there's a series of 1, 2, 3, at least 4. And I'm wondering if this was maybe a meteor. This photograph was sent in by Renee from Monterey, California. I also got a photograph from Leah from San Francisco, California. Same day, same phenomenon, just a slightly different location. But this was not being talked about. And nobody knows what this is or what these were. These are two different photographs from two different people, one from Monterey and one from San Francisco. So don't know what was going on over there. If anything, it just was unusual. An unusual sequence of afternoon, late evenings of something spotted in the sky by California residents. And these are just a couple of people that saw this thing, or at least reported it. I'm sure it was seen by thousands and thousands of people, as this is a very densely populated area. So don't know what that means, if anything, guys, but something was observed in the skies before this meteor entered the sky, about 24 hours or less prior to this event. So I found that very interesting, and thank you guys for sharing those photographs. Still don't know what that was. If it was a meteor, it was a very unusual meteor. I like mysterious light better. I haven't really seen meteors behave like that. I've seen a few meteors in my day. I've never seen any come in, leave a real bright, definitive afterglow with a loop like that. Looks like a fish hook or a bent fish hook in the sky. I suppose it can happen. Anything can happen, but did find that kind of unusual. All right, guys, now we're going to go from North Central California up to Portland, Oregon. What you're about to see is the original video that was sent in from Portland of an observation that was made near the sun on a cloudy day, what they're describing as a triangle next to the sun. And you're going to see a series of stationary objects. Once I adjust the color, the lighting, the contrast, you're going to see much, much more. But here's the original right here.
That's still there, dude. The square's still there. Or the triangle's still there.
Now, when you first look at this, you're going to think, okay, that's a flock of geese or ducks flying in a V pattern. No, those are stationary, and they did not move. And prior to them making this video recording, they had been watching this triangle in the same position of the sky, left of the sun, at about the 8 o'clock position. And this is a triangle formation, but whenever I adjust the color and the contrast, you're going to see a whole lot more. And that's what I think he was talking about. They saw what looked like a square, a triangle first. This is actually part of whatever it is here in the background that you're about to see. But I wanted to show you the original first, and this is the original. I zoom in and simply slow it down so we can kind of get a decent look at whatever this may or may not be. I mean, it's definitely something. I can assure you it's not birds of any kind. They're some sort of lights, some sort of orbs that are definitely stationary, but they're part of something bigger is what I'm getting at. And that's what they were looking at too. And that guy said there's the triangle's still there. He kind of defined it as a square first, because you're going to see here in just a few minutes, or just a few seconds, when I show you the edited version of this original format, you're going to see a triangle in the background behind these orbs or whatever it is they are that do not change position. If these were birds or geese, they would have been long gone by now, but they're still in the same position. So even though it may look like a V pattern for a flock of geese, it's not. There's 11 of these objects, whatever they are, and as you're going to see in the next video, they appear to be part of something bigger. That's the original format. Here we go with the edited version, and I take these objects, or this still image that you just saw there, and the original video, and do some work with it. Check this out.
That's still there, dude. The square's still there. Or the triangle's still there.
Okay, that's the original, right? So I take the original. Now here I switch it to what's called a sci-fi format. Let me stop it right there. See how it brings forward a white color that we couldn't see before? And there are 11 of these objects that remain in a V pattern. Okay, but there's something much bigger behind this object, or this collection of objects that you're about to see here in just a minute. There's definitely a big V pattern. So there's two V patterns. These make up a V, and then there's something else in the sky. And I see some other things that move in and out of the camera's view. I don't know what those are. In fact, there went one there. That could have been a bird. It could have been, I don't know. There went another one right there. These, again, are very stationary. They're not moving. If those were birds, they would have been just like what you saw there. It just went through in a matter of a second. And this is in slow motion. So whatever that was you just saw was moving rather quickly. Okay, this is the sci-fi format. Are you starting to see this triangle shape in the background? And if you look real close, did you see that? Did you see that cloud or that orb that's almost semi-transparent? Did you see it move? Watch it. You got to watch real close. You'll see an orb back here in the background that moves from left to right there. See that? Orb that looks like a round cloud. Again, these things are very stationary, not moving a bit, just hanging there in the sky.
Seriously? Tessa.
Quickly.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Can you turn that off?
I can.
And stay muted, please? I thought you were muted.
Was right there.
I was.
So we're going to
No, you weren't.
But I
If
couldn't
heard
hear
the
anything.
music.
what this looks like.
Well, I couldn't hear anything, so
Well, yeah, you can hear
I was turning
anything.
up for my peeps.
But everybody's listening to us right now.
Some sort of a bird.
Okay, I will mute you. Tell me when to come back.
Okay. So now we're going to fast forward it just.
So my people aren't muted.
This is an original video. I've just taken and converted the color.
That was
the lighting,
fun.
the contrast.
I had a good time.
Tessa,
Better look at
what are you doing?
Richie.
I'm playing a video for my.
bathroom break.
I'm playing
Now
a
I'm
video for
sleeping.
my people.
Oh.
What is that right there?
What are you doing? Talking over the video.
Damn Beatles interrupting.
But you're talking over everybody.
And when he said triangle or
Why?
square,
Why would you do
I
that?
was looking at this entire.
I thought I was muted.
Whatever it is that we're seeing here.
I can't mute you, which is why you have to
Oh,
be
you
muted.
said you couldn't. Then you said you could. So I thought you did.
But I asked you to mute you.
Okay.
Anyway,
Well, I
it's okay.
shall mute myself, if it shall be known.
You really do fly by your own seat.
I do. I fly by the seat of my pants. I'm sorry. I wasn't trying to mess up your video. I swear to God I wasn't.
Lips moving, still talking.
Right.
Original video. There, I switch it to.
So how'd your stuff go today? Are you feeling
Tessa,
better? Are
you
feeling
have to
verklempt?
mute
How
yourself.
you feeling?
Tessa, you have to mute yourself. I can't talk to you now.
Silent.
I'm running a show.
And show you what that one looks like. It looks just like the other ones, but it just appeared and disappeared very quickly. There it is, right there. There it is.
Hello.
There's that one, and then there's those.
She's gone. She hung up. Oh.
The field of view of the camera.
What happened? I thought you hung up. I just
Here's
told
this
everybody you
object
hung
in
up.
The background that's starting to take shape as the clouds
Hello?
are moving, maybe revealing whatever this is.
Hello.
Okay, so
You gotta mute yourself.
I did, and then you
Now.
could hear me.
Now. I'm doing a show.
Okay, hold on.
What is the matter with you? I'll hang up. Stop.
You already did.
No, I didn't. You did.
No, I didn't. I didn't touch anything over there.
You know everybody's hearing all this. Everybody's listening to this.
Oh, snap.
That's why I said mute yourself, and you didn't.
I did, and then you hung up on me.
I didn't hang
Here,
up
I shall
on you.
mute again. I'll mute again.
Stay
and then tell me
muted
when to
until
come back on.
stay muted if you're called upon.
Shh.
Shh.
This one.
Shh.
Love you, Richie.
Love you, babe. Now shut up.
To make out exactly what it was. It's in the sky.
Mute.
On that day. This was about a week ago. Above Portland, Oregon.
This is the part I wanted to show everybody.
Try to get a little better look at these objects. That,
I don't know what
very
Mr.
stationary.
MBB
They
is
never
looking at,
moved
but
during the entire length of the video. And again, they watch these things for a
I mean,
while
is
before they
anybody
start
buying into
recording.
this?
So
If you can
don't
even
know
hear
what
the
those
guy
are,
speak, I'm done with
definitely
this.
something.
It is weird. Now he was saying that this object, this was not moving, but this little fella in the back kept moving up and down. But these are pictures that a guy took, and if I saw this little thing moving up and down, that would tell me that these are probably balloons. But it could be very still in the skies. That's right. You guys know that. There's more than one sky now. So there's skies everywhere. You don't have one sky. Many. Many. Anyway, I thought it was an interesting video. Instead of taking a break, I thought I would play that for you while I took a break. So, but I really want to get to Richie versus Richie from Boston. Wait, first of all, I heard the talking is huge. Somebody wanted me, let's check in on what's going on Spaced Out Radio. Because somebody said that maybe I should call in. Let's take a listen to Spaced Out Radio. Let's take a listen to Spaced Out Radio, and then we'll get from Richie from Boston. You won't believe what a jerk-off this guy is. I haven't seen a jerk-off like this since the circle jerk of '89. Check this out. We're going to listen to Dave Scott on Spacedoutradio. As we look at my Spreaker account. Hello, Dave Scott on Spacedoutradio. Does anybody know what the very first song, music video that was ever played on MTV, 1980? It's Video Killed the Radio Star. Remember? Oh my God. Let's do this. Let's listen. It's Richard Case, Ghosts of the UK. Let's hear what Dave's doing.
Well, I have had this. I'll go on to that later. But in people's homes, when I did used to do that, I've not actually seen anything thrown, and this police woman did. So, yeah, it would be great if I could experience what they've experienced.
Don't do it, Tessa. I can hear you thinking. Don't.
Why do you go into investigations alone?
Listen.
Why are you challenged?
Turn off that music
instead of going in with a team?
I will redheaded stepchild.
The reason
you.
I do that is because I think I prefer the old.
Let's listen.
The old way of. I'm a great fan of Harry Price.
Who?
And the
Harry and the
Hendersons. O'Donnell, who was known as the Ghost Hunter.
I want to take a
Harry
little
Price.
Time.
Very.
That's right.
They used to just go
in my
on their own experience.
In my
life. And I prefer that kind of shows where I've been doing this kind of thing, and
I want to. You can't play that on my show. You're gonna get me banned.
The
algorithms pick up that stuff, sister. Don't do that anymore.
That's right,
Stop
brother.
it! You're
Don't listen to
Turn
Ploner,
it off.
brother. It's the
I'm
end
gonna
of
have
you,
to hang
brother.
up.
Don't make
Turn
this
it off.
24 Python
Turn it
and this
off.
24 Python choke you out, brother.
Turn it off. Turn it off. You're gonna get me banned.
So I never feel
I'm not
completely
joking
alone when I'm doing it, because they're my audience, and I always say they're my armchair
You're gonna get me banned on
investigators,
YouTube
because they may see things
Playing
that
Foreigner.
I don't see when I've got the camera
You
going.
can't play
Obviously,
that.
there's
I
an
can't play
element
any
of trust with
copywritten
me,
stuff.
because I don't make it. Often things don't happen because I never make things up. But no, I think just because it was unique to do it that way, I have done it with people. I have gone out.
Yeah,
with,
I've actually got
investigators
banned
I don't
off
remember
of
calling
Facebook
you.
for
I don't
such
remember
things.
calling you.
They're like,
I-
we're
I
gonna mute
do
this
like
video
the challenge.
until
I
we
do
can
like
figure
the-
out what's going on
I've
here.
done one recently, and I meet the people, get a bit of the history. That's all filmed and everything, and then I'm in there for
Turn
a couple
off
of hours,
the
and,
music.
It's just
You have to mute
Good fun. I
yourself.
guess it
Can you
goes
please
back
stop
to
interrupting?
psychology.
Mm-hmm.
Remember when I said to you about going up the spiral
All
staircase?
right, I had to
and
let her
feeling a little
go.
bit,
She's not
uneasy,
taking it
but I
seriously,
might see
so
something at the top of the
I had
stairs.
to let her go.
I suppose it does go back
There's
to a
only
little
so many
bit
times
of,
I can ask somebody.
what we all have when we go over on a roller coaster ride.
Sorry,
the
Tessa.
adrenaline going,
I
so guess it
just
does go
couldn't
back to a lot of that.
handle it. I mean, you weren't taking it seriously. I'm trying to really do a show.
Do you find, though, that
God,
investigating on your own,
no.
there is less chance of contamination of
And I
whatever
thought I
potential
X'd out of
evidence you
my
find?
Skype, and it's still popping up.
Very much so. Very much so, because I mean, when I do a proper serious,
I don't understand
investigation
why
with-
she's doing
with the
that.
team,
I don't get it.
I
Stop it!
It's all done.
I don't.
we
I mean, if she
ensure
calls
there's no
one more time, I'm
contamination,
definitely
everyone's
going to
accounted for,
tell
and,
her.
everything
no,
else.
I can't believe she's
but
actually
even
doing
then,
this.
There was.
Like, this is really fun for me to just keep getting harassed now. I don't understand the intention. I mean, it was fun the first 5 times. But I can't. I'm trying to do a show. And I don't know how many times I have to say that. Tessa, I don't know if you can hear me, but seriously. I know. I'm going to get my show taken down. And then, oh my God, I'm going to have to tell her. Tessa, no, you're not allowed on. I'm hanging up now. Do not call back. You've overstepped your boundary tonight. So I'm hanging up on you. Please just You see, you're still not taking me seriously. I'm not joking around. You're gone. I have to hang up on you. Please. Unbelievable, man. I had to hang up on her. Like, I really wanted to do that. I don't understand the humor in that after. It was funny at first. But, I mean, if I keep saying, please stop. I mean, wouldn't you stop? I don't get it. It was such a great interview. Let's not tar that by focusing on it, because I had fun. I don't get the intention there. And then she comes back on, calls back, and still talks over me. And it's like, shh, it's not fun for me. That's not funny. I've never done that to her show. I've never done that. And nor would I ever do that. I mean, I'm sorry, Tessa. Seriously, that was overstepping the boundaries. You don't fucking take my show seriously? You think that's funny? All right. Can't wait till fucking Saturday and Sunday. Unbelievable, man. Yeah, definitely. Lisa, 100%. 100%. You hit it on the head. That's exactly it. No, Nathan, it's what Lisa said. I'm not going to stay on it. Let me just get, because I think there was intention behind it. There was intention behind that. Don't you think? Don't you feel like there was some other ulterior motive to do that to me? That's how I feel. She would never do that if Dave Scott were around. Never. Never. But, Rich G, you can do that too. Like, I don't take my show fucking seriously. She would never do that on her show. I would never do that to anybody's show. Unless I hated them. And that's how I feel. I feel like either she was frustrated with me interrupting her during the interview because I wanted to ask questions a certain way. I don't know. I don't know the intention behind continually calling into my show and then over-talking me on my show, not being quiet, not muting after I specifically asked not to. All right, I'm going to try to continue here. Yeah, FAP. Yeah, I'm pissed. I'm definitely mad. That, to me, wasn't funny. It was funny at first. She's calling in again. Can you fucking believe this? What are you doing?
Can you hear me?
What are you doing?
Can you hear me?
We can all hear you. What's going on?
I was just wondering what I did. We were on commercial break, and
no,
then
we weren't on commercial break.
You
I was
said
doing
to
my
stop
show.
the music,
I
so
wasn't.
I did stop the music.
No, you first of all, you shouldn't play any music on YouTube. I can get banned for that. Okay.
I'm sorry.
No, and then I specifically asked you, and then I asked you to stop talking and mute yourself, and you refused to. And then I said I'm hanging up on you, and you kept calling back. I mean, what kind of behavior is that? I'm trying to do a show. You don't have respect for my show? Is that what it is? If Dave Scott was doing a show, you wouldn't do that to him. That just wasn't nice. I mean, I would never do that to you.
Well, I apologize so much. Like, I didn't mean to interrupt or make
How can
you feel
you
bad.
not? But how can you not after I'm telling you not to? And you still did it.
Well, like you were saying, Dave can mute you. I guess you said you can't.
It doesn't matter what I said. I asked you to mute yourself. I didn't say I'm muting you.
I did.
But you didn't. I heard you playing music. Do you understand? How do we hear you playing music?
I did press mute on my mic, and I don't know if it was coming through on my computer or what.
I don't care where it came from. It came from you. I mean, but you didn't stop there. You didn't stop there. I asked you to please stop talking, and you kept talking. You didn't mute yourself, and I asked you, listen to the replay later. Tell me where I was wrong. I felt you like were purposely doing that to get a rise out of me.
No,
yeah,
I wouldn't do that.
I think you did.
I'm so sorry.
I think you were very disrespectful. I think that's extremely unprofessional and disrespectful, and I don't have time for it. I mean, I thought we did a great interview. It was fun. I even joked around I thought you were joking around with me at first, and then you kept doing it, and I'm like, you have to stop. Stop.
You were laughing, and so
I was laughing because
me, and I was like, wait
Tessa,
a minute, I lost the call, and we lost the call several times before that.
We lost the call once. Okay, that wasn't me, and then I said I'm hanging up on you, and then you call back. I mean, who does that? You're not only called back once, twice. You call back 3 times, and now 4. And I don't get it. I don't understand this logic. I really don't. Tell me why I'm wrong. I don't get it. Explain to me why.
I'm not saying you're wrong. I just thought I lost the call, and I thought you were joking around with me because before you said that, you were laughing, and so, okay, I'm sorry.
Of course I'm going to laugh, Tessa. I'm trying to be professional. I don't... She fucking hung up on me? She fucking hangs up on me. Fuck you. Fuck you. Don't ever fucking call my show again. Fuck you. That's totally disrespectful. I'm sorry. Unfucking believable. That is unbelievable. So unprofessional. I'm beyond myself. And I know, to some of you, this is like, for me, it's fun, but I take my show as seriously as you name it. I can't even think. As anybody. I mean, I prepare for my shows. I spend hours to do these shows. I mean, it's not like I'm just getting here and winging it. I may do a wing show once in a while, but I have shit planned. I mean, I don't have time for this. And she hangs up on me? I told her I was hanging up on her. I said, I'm hanging up. I was trying to be as respectful and as jovial about it as I can. How do you not understand when enough is enough as an adult? I just don't get it. What am I? FAP? What's a payopath? A payupath? What is that? I don't know. I'm missing the joke. I mean, I don't know, B. Baker. I mean, did I not sound serious? I'm trying to understand how I could have done this differently. Yeah, we went on break, but then we didn't. I told her I was playing a video for everybody. And I said, mute yourself. Everybody can hear it in the replay. I mean, it doesn't matter what I have muted. I said, mute yourself. Because I know in the past, working with a lot of people out there, that they forget to mute themselves when they go take a break, go to the bathroom. They come back and they start having conversations, and it interferes with the show if you let them hang out. And I know what to do. I mean, it's not my first show. Matter of fact, I think it's show number 711 tonight of my entire life. It's not that it's not unforgivable. It's just I'm mad. I'm mad. And then she hangs up on me. We're talking and she hangs up on me. And that's how you want to live your life, fine. I just cannot believe what just happened. I don't understand. Chuck, more Tessa. If I was in the wrong, I'd like to know how, so I don't do it again. I don't think I was wrong. It's not about right or wrong, anyway. Of course I was laughing. I mean, I felt like I was dealing with like a child. I mean, it's like, of course I'm going to laugh because I'm trying to be professional. I'm trying not to be mean. And she wanted to make me mad. I felt there was intention. When I said, I'm hanging up on you, you called back 3 more times? That's 4 times? All right. Well, yeah, I did. I said, stop with the music. Stop with the music. Stop with the music. Oh, my God. Anyway, I'm repeating now, but I'm in shock, so forgive me for a second. I didn't expect that. I got to be honest with you. I mean, I felt that was intentional. Fuck. That was such a nice little interview we had, too. I'm really upset. How do you not know I'm doing a show? I mean, I even said I'm doing a show, and you still talk to me like we're not on the air. What is wrong? I don't get it, man. I'm just blown away by this. I just don't know what to say. This is bizarre. It's like I'm living in I don't know. Lisa, it's not going to be good. I don't know. Somebody's going to have to explain to Lunar Sparkles what just happened. Love you, babe. Lunar Sparkles. I just don't. I'm trying to calm down, guys, so bear with me here. I mean, I got brother. See, I feel like I tell somebody to mute. Being on the radio, she should know what that means. There shouldn't be any question. Well, I thought this. Well, I thought that. Oh, you were laughing. I thought you were joking. Come on. I mean, I'm yelling at her. Stop playing music. Stop playing the fucking music. You're going to get my show taken off. If that happened, oh my God, I don't know if my computer would be here. I mean, I just try everything I can to not get banned or get any marks against me. And I think it was just a total disrespectful act. And if she's listening, do not call back. Nathan, there is no way that was a miscommunication. I gave her plenty of time to answer the question, why did you do that? I mean, when I say, please turn the music off, and then she keeps turning it on, that's intentional. When I say, I'm hanging up on you, don't call back, and she calls back 3 times, that's intentional. Do you know why I didn't want her to call in was because of this? Because now I feel like she was trying to get me to get mad at her. I didn't feel any remorse in her saying she was sorry. I didn't hear any of that. I heard laughter almost, like it was fun for her. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought we were on break. I'm like, I never said that. I said we're going to take a break, and then I stopped myself. I said, no, we're not going to take a break. I'm going to play this as the break. And then when we come back, Tessa, mute yourself, okay? Okay. Something like that. But now, we'll have to listen on the replay. My God. You know, in the old days, you know, things like that, I get it. People aren't used to being on radio. People don't have a show. I get it. She knows how to do a show, right? Maybe, I don't know. Sometimes she starts the show and the mute button's pressed. I mean, it happens. It happens to me. I get it. But when somebody repeatedly tells you to not do something and you still do it, there's intent behind that. Well, I'm like, I'm beside myself. Yeah, I'm not gonna. Yeah. If someone tells you to have noise coming across or music and they tell you to mute and you can't, you are supposed to hang up. True. And she must have accidentally hung up the first time because I didn't. And then she blamed me. She says, you hung up on me. I didn't touch it. You hung up on me. Then she called back. And I said, okay, We're trying to figure out what happened. I said, why did you do this? Well, I thought you were on break. No, I told you to mute yourself. And then you came back and music was playing. Oh, I thought it was coming on your end. Didn't she say I thought it was coming from you? First of all, she can't hear anything on my end. So that, I don't know if that's what she said. I'll have to listen again. But oh, she said something was coming through speakers. I mean, no. Gazy. All right. So I'm going to get to Richie from Boston. Because this guy, I can't wait to play this for you. I'm going to play it in its entirety and see if you guys catch it. Because he is one disrespectful piece of shit. Wait till you hear this. Now, I don't judge anybody. I don't. I judge you on your actions with me. One-on-one. Yeah, I mean, people killing other people in other countries, beheading us, that, you're an asshole. That's different than what he does. I couldn't believe this. And this guy has 306,000 subscribers that follow him. Where the hell is it? Did I look at all these videos today? Yeah, I think I did, actually. Oh, yeah, I looked at a lot. Every day I look at this many videos. I look at 50, at least minimum 50 a day. All sorts of stuff. I'm trying to look for them, and I can't find them. So I'm going to have to do this. Did you see Floyd Mayweather, anybody, fight that kickboxer? Knocked him out. The guy was like 10 pounds lighter and half his age. He was a kickboxer in Japan, and Floyd Mayweather beat the crap out of him. Knocked him down 4 times. They threw in the towel. The guy was crying. He cried when he got beat by Mayweather. It was awful. Just awful. Mayweather was dancing, doing a jig. You know what I mean? It's like, come on, bro. You don't have to do that. I would say act respectful, but he's a piece of shit. I hate Floyd Mayweather. All right, let me pull up asshole face. I have a feeling if he removed this video, it's because of the comment I made. And that would be great, but I doubt he would do that. All right, I found it. Of course he wouldn't. All right. He says, everybody needs to get off Facebook. This is his video. Let me get it started.
Hey, what's up, YouTube? It's Richie from Boston. It's Wednesday. It's the 3rd of January.
And for those of you who are new, have never watched this, I'm a whiny beta? What are we talking about? That's true, right? Don't play copywritten music. You mean play copywritten music, right? Exactly. Unbelievable. Because as soon as Facebook, forget I'm reading this thing. As soon as YouTube, the algorithm picks that up, because I'm live, they'll shut me down. They'll take the show right off. It's happened now twice. I was doing a test show. In the background of one of my videos that I was practicing had a Metallica song, Jump in the Fire. And it was in the background of a video I was playing, and it picked it up. So I know it could have easily heard that. I bet you, and I bet you, if that comes up as a copywritten thing, I'm going to be pissed. I still don't have any strikes against me. But they can happen at any time. Anytime YouTube wants to shut you down, they will. And it's happened to me already. I already lost my 10-year-old YouTube channel a year or so ago. Thousands of subscribers, and they took me off. I was gone. No reason. All right. What was I doing? I was going to do something. I can't remember. Richie from Boston. I was going to say something. I can't remember.
January 20.
Oh, this guy here. Now, I'm going to interject because this guy is a weasel. He thinks he knows everything. I don't know how in God's green earth he gets 306,000 subscribers with the mentality that he has. I don't understand it. I'm lost in this YouTube world. I don't know what I need to do to gain subscribers. I want to make money like that. And he drives in his truck every day, I'm assuming. I don't know much about the guy, but listen to what he says. I'm going to play it until I get to a certain point.
19. I'm in Colorado.
Exactly, B. Baker.
I stopped and met a subscriber last night in Denver, right off of Route 70. So that wasn't the worst because it was fairly easy. I got a chance to meet her. And then jump back on the highway, and then just about to head through the Rockies last night, and I stopped. I didn't want to do it in the dark, and I wanted to check my gear oil in my front and rear differentials before I did that. At any rate, so I'm at a gas station this morning, coffee, waking up, and it's weird because in Denver the temperature is going to be 50 degrees. Down the street in Moab, it's going to be 10.
Hey, by the way, I'm Richie from Boston. Did I meant to tell you guys, my cap has eyes. You see this hat? I bought it from aliens. You can see now with the glasses there.
Moab's the desert. It's going to be 10. Colorado, Denver is a mile higher, and it's going to be 50. It's kind of strange, right? But
Denver's a mile higher up, and it's only going to be 10 degrees. I don't understand. What did I say?
Listen to what he says. I mean, this is so stupid.
On the street in Moab, it's going to be 10. Moab's the desert. It's going to be 10. Colorado, Denver is a mile higher, and it's going to be 50. It's kind of strange, right? But what?
It's a mile higher.
You go up a mile higher, it gets warmer in Denver. It's bizarro world, I'm telling you guys. Listen to me, that's kind of weird.
Yeah, it's a little weird, right? No, there couldn't be a different weather system that's pushing through. No, this guy's got it all wrong. He's got it backwards.
Whatever.
See?
So I'm sitting here, and I can see two cops in there drinking coffee, shooting the shit for a long time. They come out. It's a female and an older guy, and they got the baton so they can help you. Stop resisting. We're here to help. The flashlight, the handcuffs, and they're both wearing. They both have what appear to be either 6 hours or Glock handguns. And then I look closer. These are school cops. And then I thought, wait a minute, this is Colorado.
Wait a minute. I'm in Colorado? And these are school cops? Oh, boy, I'm glad I dropped out of the first grade.
You know, the Denver International Airport, the elites own a lot of property a mile up around here. And cops at schools, security guards at schools are already wearing guns. And that's just crazy. At any rate, it's just a weird observation.
No, they only had mass murder at schools. It's really strange that security would be decked out in police gear. Yeah, that's really strange. Unbelievable.
A Plain Truth put up a video this morning, and he was showing his Facebook post. And I don't do Facebook, and nobody should do Facebook. Now, why do I say that?
Listen to this.
Did I pull my Facebook page down because people said, Richie from Boston's gay? He's gay. I'm gay. I'm a gay man, according to the internet. Because apparently there was a button on there you're supposed to flip. Now,
I'm not gay. I mean, my husband doesn't think so. Forget about it. I don't take it up the rear. I take it up the ass. I'm Richie from Boston. We do everything right. Or right behind. You see what I did there? I'm not gay. Facebook's gay. Tell me I'm gay. I'm not gay. I don't even like women. I'm Richie from Boston. You hear what I'm saying?
Facebook page was Richie from Boston. And
listen to his excuse why the gay button was pressed on Facebook.
Page was Richie from Boston. And someone pointed out that in the settings someplace it said Richie from Boston is seeking men and women. Yeah, I'm not some pathetic whatever that needs to go online on Facebook to find a mate.
You see what a disgusting fucking pig this guy is? Do I have to replay it? Listen to what he says about you and me. Anybody who wants to find a mate. People that can't leave the home, maybe they're quadriplegic, go on the internet looking for love. Maybe there's people out there that are shy and the internet's a great way for them to meet people. Maybe some people just don't have the balls to go out and talk to a pretty girl or a girl they like. So, according to Richie from Boston, you're this.
It said, Richie from Boston is seeking men and women. Yeah, I'm not some pathetic whatever that needs to go online on Facebook to find a mate.
He's not a pathetic whatever. Not horrible, but you get the intent. Again, with the intent. I'm Richie from Boston. Everything I say is unintentional because I don't know what I'm saying. I'm Richie from Boston. My hat is looking at you. It's looking at me. Oh, I'm going to put it on and I'm going to rob somebody. Blind. Get it? I'm Richie from Boston.
A girlfriend. Or, you know what I'm saying? Like, I took my Facebook page down because...
I took it down because I'm gay. I'm not some pathetic whatever, but I'm gay.
When Regina Dugan came out with the either Building 9 or Building 7, I can't think of it.
I don't know, one of those odd buildings, 9, 7, 3, 4, 6, one of those odd numbers.
Right now, where they were saying that Facebook has developed technology where they can finish your sentences for you because... that would be great. They have mind reading technology that's only going to read the things that you've decided to share. Remember that? Well, here's the thing. That was Facebook telling you that when you're on Facebook, you don't know if that technology is working right now, where they're reading your mind. Anybody that's on Facebook right now, it's just stupid. It's stupid. I can reach more people. I don't want to reach the people that are on Facebook. Put it that way.
I mean, is this like the biggest dickhead in a long time? I don't want to meet the people on Facebook. That means everybody here. We're all on Facebook. He doesn't want to meet any of us, guys. How do you feel? I swear, I'm Richie from Boston. I'm tired of people on Facebook. I'm better than Facebook. Facebook controls you. Facebook listens to you. Facebook knows everything about you. Facebook, Facebook, Facebook. I'm Richie from Boston.
Wait, how's that? Second,
you hear what I'm saying?
Jamie posted that only channels still talking about the Paradise Fire were Mental Boost, Himself, and Truth by Grace. Well, that's not accurate right off the bat. Here's the thing. I've put this call out before. People are saying that 10 times more people got killed at Paradise than did at 9/11. We've got a number from 9/11, which is...
He's actually literally taking what people said. You know how somebody says, 10 times more people got killed over there. You know, like they're just saying it to be like exaggerating. He's taking it as a literal comment. No, there wasn't 30,000 people dead over there. 3,000 people in 9/11. Now you're telling me 30,000 people died there? He's so stupid. This is like the dumbest guy I've seen in a long time. Tyler's smart, but he lies. He's an idiot, right? You know who's smart? UFO Jesus is a smart guy, but he's gullible. So, yeah, we let it go. This is a jerk-off times 10. Like, it don't get much worse than him. Now, the other videos you watch, you're going to see same type of shit. I mean, he's really a racist homophobe who does not like anybody at all. He hates everybody.
3,000 plus people, not including the soldiers, not including all the people in Iraq. You know, a lot of people died because of 9/11. 10 times would be 30,000 people. Where is this number coming from? That's what I've been asking this. I've asked people that live in the area, anybody that could research this, where is this number coming from? Because I'm only hearing it from one place in the entire world.
So then why is he focusing on one person?
There has to be a way.
Who cares?
Other than talking to some random person here and there. What is the actual number? There's got to be a way to figure it out. There has to be a way to figure it out through sensors, through the when they come around and they count how many people, whatever that's called.
The Census Bureau, dummy.
Insurance claims, homeowners. There's got to be a way to figure it out. Just going online and saying that 30,000 plus people died in Paradise, that's not responsible. There's got to be a way. Do you see what I'm saying? And if you know that way, email me, rjcjr10.
Richie from Boston, we always see what you're saying. It's not a big mystery. You're not talking rocket science ever. Yeah, we see what you're saying.
At yahoo.com. Please don't email me random thoughts, videos.
Now listen how mean he is here. This is how mean he is to his fans.
Videos you think I should watch, so forth and so on, and blah, blah, blah. I'm on the road. So reading all these emails is a real huge pain in the ass. And if you're sending me 3 emails to show me some random newspaper clipping you saw or a video you think I should watch, or you're telling me that somebody else is making videos about me. Somebody else has been making videos about me since day one. It is what it is. You see what I'm saying?
Of course we see what you're saying.
So there's that. There has to be a real way to figure out how many people got killed in Paradise.
There's got to be a real way to find out how many people died in Paradise. Paradise by the dashboard. Remember that? Paradise City. About 18,000 people died in there. Remember that concert? Guns N' Roses, take me down to the Paradise City. 18,000 dead at 10. There's got to be a way to find a number. Can you Google it? Somebody Google 10,000, 20, 30. How about just Googling how many people died in the Paradise Fire? How stupid is this guy? All right.
There absolutely has to be. Just putting out the, 30,000 people died. We can't prove that. Just because there's a national tragedy doesn't mean getting in your car you're going to be able to locate all these people. It doesn't work like that either. At any rate. I'm not saying anything bad. I'm just saying, if you want to keep this story going, we need real facts to work off of. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't
always.
So there's that. I'm out.
That's a racist homophobe, Richie from Boston. I'm wearing my top hat with glasses. Look at all these fingerprints. You can see all the fingerprints on this thing. This guy's a pig. He works in his truck, I think. I don't know what he does for a living, but you can see here on his shirt, he's got like food or dandruff coming off this. I don't know what's going on there, but do something. You're on camera, bro. 50 years old, the man found a microphone, and I started at least when I was 36, 37. At least I grew into it. It's not fair. 306,000 subscribers to this schmuck. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. All right, so one more video for the night. This one's going to be good because this is weird. Maybe two more. I think he did another video. Let me pull this up here and take a look. I'm Richie from Boston. Hold on, there's one more video from Richie from Boston. All right, let me just go to his main page here. There was one. Whoops. Microwave weapons. Oh, this one's good. UFOs are not real. I played that, right? Did I play this one 2 days ago? No. Oh my God. I think I have to play this one, right? Christmas was the last time I talked about this guy, right? Or was it New Year's? No. Yesterday. All right. I think I got to play this for you. I don't think I played this for you. This is amazing.
Hey, what's up, YouTube? It's Richie from Boston, and I am in Illinois.
Yeah. Check this out.
Almost to Missouri. And I'm in my truck, as you can see, on my laptop. And thanks to this little device by a company called GlocalMe, I have Wi-Fi in my truck, which is awesome because I've used every device in the world, and none of them ever work whatsoever at all. So there's that. All right.
What?
I'm driving and I'm listening to the Sage of Quay radio show, podcast or whatever it is. If you don't subscribe to him, you may want to because he had two guys on, Mike and somebody else. Sorry, whatever somebody else's name was, I forget. And it was a really good radio show. And then after that, I listened to another live stream, radio, podcast, whatever. And they had a guy named Nick Redfern on, and he's talking about, alien abductions and how they've been going on for years and how he thinks the government is keeping an eye on them. They don't exactly quite know what it is yet, but they're keeping an eye on it nonetheless. Well, that's ridiculous. And to all those YouTube channels, Secure Team and all the other fugazi, multi-million subscribers, never get hit with copyright dudes that help push this agenda. If you truly investigated UFOs, you'd draw the exact same conclusion as myself.
This guy is questioning Nick Redfern's credibility about UFOs, and he's saying UFOs aren't real, right? Isn't that what this one is? Absolute proof, guys. UFOs are not real. This is the guy who's got 306,000 subscribers. Do you hear what I'm saying? Oh my God, I'm talking like him. Yeah, I hate this Boston guy. That's the point, Chuck. The guy's a fugazi. He's fake. I have to do this. If I don't talk about him, I can't get over it. I've got to let people know. He's hearing about it. I see comments in YouTube. He's understanding how dumb he is. I think I deserve, maybe not deserve, I think I have a responsibility to show why this is wrong.
Many others.
Why people like him shouldn't have that many subscribers. Why are these people? Why do people flock to them? You know, it's a real social experiment for me. I don't understand it. 10 more hours before my common law goes to jail or pays hefty fines. Wait, what? Oh, I thought you were making fun of him. No, he's not. He's not boots on the ground. I live in a van down by the river. Oh my God, he does.
I don't know.
All right, let's listen.
Jacques Vallée, stuff like that.
Jacques Vallée. Isn't it Jacques Vallée? We're going to listen to Jacques Vallée. What does he know? He knows more. Jacques Vallée forgot more than I know. That's Jacques Vallée.
If you truly investigated UFOs, you'd draw the exact same conclusion as myself, many others. I don't know, people like Jacques Vallée, stuff like that. These are interdimensional beings that our government or the people that control our government are contacting and getting technology from. Here's one quick way you can tell who's behind the UFO phenomenon. It isn't very hard. Watch this. Riddle me this. Why is it that back in the 50s and 60s, when people took videos or pictures, I shouldn't say videos, pictures of UFOs, they all looked like this. And this. And this. You see what I'm saying? Do you see where I'm going with this?
You see what I'm saying? You see where I'm going? Like always.
The vehicles that were being built in that time era. All of them. You see what I mean?
You see what he just did? He's putting a blanket over the entire ufology world with the pictures he just showed us, which 2 were fake, 1 might be real. It shows you how little this guy knows. And this goes on with every topic he talks about. It's really strange to me that some people don't really know. Like me with the astral thing. You know why I don't talk about it? You know why it's not part of my life, part of the discussion? Because I don't know about it. You see what I'm saying? I don't know enough to talk about it to sound like I know what I'm talking about. I don't talk about anything I don't know about. And if I don't know about it, I'll at least admit it. This guy is putting a blanket statement over the whole UFO world, saying that why did UFOs look like this in the 40s and 50s and 60s? Can you riddle me this? First of all, that's his fake. That's a drawing. It's not even a real thing. That's a real UFO picture, supposedly. And they still look like that, by the way. That's the point I wanted to make. They still look like that. And this one, well, we all know what this one is some sort of military drone. I don't know. That's what I heard. Back flying saucer. I mean, it's back engineered. And you see, they look like this car. Don't you see the UFO on the back of this? Don't you see I'm right? Look, I'm going to show you something. Click it. Go forward. Hello. Hello?
The vehicles that were being built in that time era. All of them.
These look like the vehicles being built in that time era. Look, you see this here? That's a UFO. That's the wedding cake UFO. Billy Myers. You see what I'm saying? You see where I'm going?
You see what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, and I forgot to play it for you like a jerk off.
You see what I mean?
Hold on. I'm so stupid.
All look exactly like the vehicles that were being built in that time era.
You see what I'm saying?
You see what I mean?
That's a UFO right there. This is a UFO. In case you didn't know, from the 50s. The 57 Chevy was a UFO, by the way. In case anybody's wondering. See what I'm saying? See where I'm going?
You see what I'm saying? All of these devices are man-made. all of these devices are probably technology.
Yeah,
that
I
they
know.
got
I know what he means, that the
black
cars
magic
have that
and occult
rounded,
practices.
winged look,
We know
kind
that
of
everybody
metallic
involved in the
looking thing.
governments is always somehow, one way or another, connected to secret society.
But that's the misconception he's trying to build up. He showed us one possible UFO picture that was deemed real. I don't know if they debunked it. And he's blanketing the whole ufology world with what? Now, how are UFOs different today than they were back then? We have dots. We have the triangles. They had triangles back then. Sure as hell did. They had cigar-shaped UFOs back then. Abso-freaking-lutely did. Nothing's different. Don't be swayed by that, Chuck. That guy's a bullshitter. All this shit's bullshit. We have more cameras now, so we're seeing more things. Dots in the sky. Yeah, they saw dots back then, but they didn't have the cameras like we do now either, man. So the only time you get something on video or on camera was it had to come really close. Back then, the UFOs did come close to people. There was no Wi-Fi back then. There was no camera on every corner back then. You see what I'm saying? You see what I mean? Oh my God, I am talking like him. The UFOs can't get close like they used to anymore, man. That's the rub here. You see what I'm saying? Oh my God, I can't stop.
For crying out loud, we had two presidents, both from Skull and Bones, running for president at the same time. Nothing to see here, no big deal. And then, in 2018, I have never seen aliens introduced so much into the public imagination.
First of all, they didn't introduce aliens into the public. They introduced UFOs. I mean, come on.
The men in black, they drove cars with no air conditioning from the 50s. They like those big cars, the ones that they use in the mob. See what I'm saying? See what I mean?
No. Maybe that was the only car they could drive back then. Maybe that was what was available. If they were men in black in the 50s, they're not going to drive a 2018 POS. I mean, this has to make sense when you digest it and think about what he's trying to do. He's just trying to create something. And he's not making any sense. I mean, anybody who looks at these videos, come on. I know you don't like the guy. I hate the guy. And this is therapy for me to get over it.
History Channel is coming out with Project Blue Book on January 8th. Do you see what I'm saying? Do you see where I'm going with this?
We always see where you're saying, where you're going.
The elites have always wanted to do a staged alien invasion. That's their deal.
For decades, only crackpots and crazy people believed in UFOs. That's what I thought anyway. And then in recent years, it turns out that governments have been taking them seriously all along.
From ET to Area 51, the idea of aliens has long dominated the human imagination.
What is that? Holy crap.
Front now, the former Pentagon military official who ran the covert government program up until this last November, Luis Elizondo. Luis, thank you so much for your time tonight. I mean, first, tell us what the purpose of the program was and why it was so secretive.
Was misled by the company.
The purpose is, and always has been, is to misguide the American people. These guys are going to try to pull off a staged alien invasion, which is why this is suddenly something that was completely secret, sometimes completely denied, but now it's going to be a mainstream television show. Do you see what I'm saying? This is declassified documents from the CIA when they were going to try to overthrow Fidel Castro. What they were going to do is try to project a picture of Jesus in the clouds. And Jesus, they were going to use this as well as loudspeakers to convince the people of Cuba that Jesus wanted them to rebel against Fidel Castro. Links will be in the description. This is old declassified information. This is back in 1961. They've had this on their mind for a long, long time. The only problem with this particular one is they couldn't figure out a way to make the clouds stable enough to project the picture on. Well, how could you possibly fix that, I wonder? Well, shucks, I don't know. Let's trick everyone into climate change and then tell them that we're going to spray an artificial stratosphere. Do you see what I'm saying? They use this bullshit all the time, and they're going to use it again. You think it's a complete and total coincidence that this is all popping up right now? Harvard already came out in 2017 and said these exact words and then pretended they didn't say it. And now they're coming out again saying, oh, by the spring of 2019, we're going to block the sun to cool everything off. They're terraforming the planet, and they're making the atmosphere into an enormous movie screen. And
we're gonna watch movies across America. We're gonna fill the sky up with trails and block out the sun, and we're gonna pull the curtains, and we're gonna watch Men in Black. We're gonna watch From Here to Eternity. We're gonna watch Fire in the Sky. We're gonna watch everything, and then we're gonna laugh and say aliens don't exist. We're gonna watch all sorts of movies. We're gonna cover up the earth, and we're gonna make a blanket over the cities. It's gonna be a movie theater for the whole country. I'm Richie from Boston. What a freaking jerk off. Where are we? What did I do? I accidentally hit this. Where do I go?
Tell them that we're going to spray an artificial stratosphere. Do you see what I'm saying? They use this bullshit all the time, and they're going to use it again. You think it's a complete and total coincidence that this is all popping up right now? Harvard already came out in 2017 and said these exact words and then pretended they didn't say it. And now they're coming out again saying, oh, by the spring of 2019, we're going to block the sun to cool everything off. They're terraforming the planet, and they're making the atmosphere into an enormous movie screen. And Project Bluebeam, that's out the window. They don't care about that anymore. I know this is Project Blue Book, but it is what it is. I'm in my truck, so whatever. They're going to spray the skies for a variety of reasons, an absolute variety of reasons. Is it self-replicating nanobots? Maybe. Are they changing DNA? Maybe. Are they terraforming the planet? Absolutely. Absolutely. You don't go around and dump nuclear
How the hell are we terraforming? Oh, he's telling us.
Waste, Fukushima, dumping oil, every other thing into the ocean, genetically modifying the food, fluoridating the water, and spraying the skies because you have a plan to live here.
We're spraying the skies. I'm Richie from Boston. The skies are no longer safe. The water you drink is full of toxins and anticolons. You got your food which is being modifiably corrected and enhanced, and if you eat it, it's going to make you get cancerous tumors. And if you brush your teeth, you're going to get too much fluoride from the water and the toothpaste. You see what I'm saying? You hear what I'm doing? I don't even know where I am. They got so much chem cloud spray and I can't see past Montana. I'm going back to Boston.
After everyone else is killed off. That's not what it is.
All right. I got one more video. This is a weird, from Mr. MBB333. This is a weird video. I don't know. I didn't watch the whole thing, but I saw. Oh, yeah, this is cool, too. You want to watch Secure Team? Nah, I'm not in the mood. There's a better one out there. This one, check it out. What the hell is that?
It was a dramatic warming, that's for sure. And, you know, it's been known that that had something to do with the extinction, but what we really showed, I think, newly is that it also came with this geographic difference in the risk of extinction.
feel like
Did you get any of it?
No, I missed all.
Oh, there's some.
I missed it all.
That was awesome. There's some more.
It came over.
Yeah.
Holy shit, I saw it.
I wonder if someone hit it. I don't know.
People think about greenhouse gases. They think about climate change. They think about weather-related events, things like that. Doctors, the public health community looks at it from a public health standpoint. You're talking about these particulates. Air pollution is essentially these small little particulates. You can't see them. They're about 1/30th the size of a hair, and they're out there in the air you breathe.
I think most likely the form of government on Mars would be somewhat of a direct democracy, where you vote on issues, where people vote directly on issues, instead of going through representative government. When the United States was formed, representative government was the only thing that was logistically feasible.
この子たちはね、外に出ないで家の中でその相手をしてるっていうのが通説だったらしいんですよ。僕はそっちを選ばずにこうデートをするものを選んじゃったんですね。死ぬ準備をしてたでしょうね。
Call me a pessimist, but it's my sense that it's not supposed to look like that in the night sky. Under there, at the center of the picture. There again is the ridiculous flashing.
It's one thing to go into the future knowing that you're changing the oceans at a global scale. It's quite another to know that the extreme end point of those changes is the same thing that happened in the past and had really dramatic impact on the survival of large numbers of species.
So there's an update on the storm front here. It's actually really terrifying. It started hailing again. I got past the blockage with the tree being cut up across the road, but I started driving again and then it just started pouring and the second storm has hit and it's been hailing and I couldn't see a couple of meters in front of me and there was nowhere to pull over because those sides of the roads are flooded and trees are coming down everywhere and it's terrifying. My daughter's waiting for me. I told her to stay somewhere safe. So
a heat wave now hanging over Australia. Temperatures much higher than normal for this time of the year. Tom Sater joining us now with the details. Just got back. I got back Tuesday. And, from Sydney. Not so bad, from right? Sydney. It was all right.
There is a typhoon that is brewing off the coast between Australia, Japan, Philippines. And because we have to leave tomorrow for Darwin and then...
People need access to justice and they're getting ripped off and making it free for them is popular.
Did you go to law school?
I did not. No, you did not. That's what the law is. The law is about the person with the most money and resources winning. You are totally disrupting that. I think we can agree on that. Okay.
Get him up here. Oh, yeah. Watch this one hit the wall. Woo-hoo.
Okay, so how does this thing even work? So just like a real human lawyer, you go to it, type in whatever your legal problem is, it gives you a legal document for free in under 30 seconds.
And it's not just parking tickets. This AI lawyer has already helped people sue Equifax without paying a lawyer anything.
Away from the track, there was another race for shelter as storms rolled across the state, bringing an almighty deluge.
This man just wanted an explanation.
Do you know what's caused all this, or?
Rain.
Yeah, I gather that.
Because last year and a half, they've been inviting me to speak in all sorts of artificial intelligence conferences in the world. I was just surprised, why are they asking me to come and speak about artificial intelligence, because I'm not an expert in the field, nor am I an artificial intelligence.
All right, guys, that's enough for tonight. I want to thank everybody for listening in. We'll be back on Sunday. Keep your eyes out. I may do a show this weekend. I am feeling a little bit feisty. I think I might do a really good show this weekend. I don't know. But I'll be back on Sunday. You can join all these things here. Go to goofon.net to get to Goofon Network, where I update the site. And you can join there and be a member if you want. It's free. It doesn't cost anything. You don't ever have to pay anything. So I want to thank everybody. Go to goofon.org. Victor had designed and made that site for Goofon, so check it out. Very cool. He updates all the shows there and a bunch of other news. And also playing 24 hours a day, 7 days a week is the Goofon Network on Shoutcast. Look for Goofon Radio for the 24/7 radio stream that plays the 10 last shows we did. So check it out. And that's getting bigger and bigger every week. So I'm really happy about that. And I want to thank everybody for hanging out. You know who you are. And I'm going to get some rest and think about what just happened. So, not really. I'm done thinking about it. I'm going to watch some hockey. So I hope you guys have a great weekend. Happy New Year. That was fun. We did 9 hours. Next year, I know how to prepare. I'm going to do much better. I promise. You know what? I got really sick all of a sudden. I had a sandwich a couple hours before, maybe an hour and a half before, like then half an hour after, like Dave left with whoever else was with him, and after, like, he allowed me to go eat. Half an hour later, I started feeling sick. So I went to go check my blood sugar because I know what it feels like. I get really cold, and my eyes were really like feeling dizzy. My blood sugar was low, and I couldn't get the energy to finish, man. If I could have taken an hour break and handed the keys over to somebody for a minute for that hour, I would have been able to go the 24 hours. Makes me sad. So next year, maybe at the end of the year, hopefully I'll be able to do it. I think I need a 3-day weekend because I need 24 hours to do the show and 2 days to recover. Man, I got to tell you, it was fun. And I got to thank Dave on Spacedoutradio for that 4 hours he gave me, which was a lot of fun with Jim Mallard. So from, the Mallard Report. So guys, have a great weekend and have a great new year. I hope Goofon Radio brings you more entertaining and interesting interviews and people to meet, which I will. And I will see you Sunday, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 Pacific, right here on YouTube. And I will... Now, one more thing. starting tomorrow night at 7, I'm going to be playing continually all weekend. All the last 7 shows on Spreaker live. I'm going to try to see how many shows I can do in a row without missing any. So there'll be a weekend show on Spreaker. Anyway, I'll see you guys. Have a great weekend. Thank you all. Appreciate it. Have a great weekend, everybody. I said it like 20 times, I know, right? It's like, I don't know what to say anymore. What am I going to do? Hold on. Let's do this. Oh, no, hold on. I gotta put music on for you guys. I can't leave like this. Right? I played that one 100 times. What do I play? What a way to end it. What a piece of... I'm a POS tonight. Have a good night.